Chapter 21, Breakthrough to Astral Rank. I've been in seclusion for a full year and 2 months. Both the space domain and the water domain have reached the 9th level, and both the space origin law and the water origin law have stepped through the threshold. My cultivation realm broke through to planet level rank 9 ages ago. It's time to break through to astral rank. This time, Yue Ming's seclusion had lasted over a year. He had already advanced to planet level rank 9 half a year earlier, but he had postponed the actual breakthrough to astral rank so he could focus on grasping the origin laws. Rank, planet level rank 9, overall rank 1. Realm, water origin law 1%, space origin law 1%, genes, 100x force exertion, 7x secret techniques, none. By Yue Ming's understanding, to comprehend a trace of an origin law was only to perceive a superficial aspect of it. Only when comprehension reached 1% did it count as truly stepping through the origin law threshold, equivalent to the one-line flow in Luo Feng's 10,000-line flow cultivation. Now that both of his major origin laws had crossed that threshold, and with the aid of his divine persona, he didn't require auxiliary secret techniques to understand the origin laws themselves, but he did need water-space fusion attack secret techniques to maximize combat power. Those techniques simply didn't exist on Earth. Fusion law attack secret techniques were prized across the universe. He'd likely have to join the Virtual Universe Corporation to obtain any. Even so, Yue Ming had only just crossed the threshold and was far from cultivating the first layer of the water-space fusion law. To cultivate the first layer, both water and space origin law comprehension had to be above 15%. By analogy, the second layer required 30%, the third 45%, the fourth 60%, the fifth 75%, the sixth 90%, and the seventh 100%. These were minimums. Cultivating a fusion law was difficult. Even a venerable who had a lower law at 100% and a higher law at 100% might still fail to cultivate the first layer. Purchase 10 kilograms of ancestral tree spirit liquid, 30 billion origin points deducted. Yue Ming opened the chat group mall and bought a rank 2 treasure called ancestral tree spirit liquid, the most cost-effective spirit liquid for astral rank martial artists he could find there. Rumble. After he consumed the ancestral tree spirit liquid, the 9 miniature planets in his Dantian began spinning wildly. They collided and detonated, and under the influx of massive life energy, the matter gradually condensed into a single star. Compared to the original miniature planets, this new star was over 10 times larger in volume. Its density and mass were far greater, and its magnetic field was more than 10 times stronger. Planet-level martial artists used the magnetic fields of their miniature planets to counteract planetary gravity and hover within a planet. Astral rank martial artists with a star like this could completely break free of planetary gravity, pierce the atmosphere into space, and even survive for short periods in space. Rank, astral rank, overall rank 2, realm water origin law 1%, space origin law 1%, genes 100x force exertion, 7x secret techniques, none. As Yue Ming consolidated his new realm, a system prompt buzzed in his mind. Someone had mentioned him in the chat group. When he logged on, he saw that, apart from Zhuo Fan from the Mysterious World and Sect Master Tongqian, everyone else in the group was online, a rare sight. In the first months of his seclusion, he had occasionally checked in, but in order to break through the origin threshold, he had gone into strict seclusion for over half a year. Yue Ming. Rank 2. Everyone is online. This is a rare sight. I see you're all talking about Zhuo Fan. Did something happen to him? Li Shan, rank 5. Yes, we're talking about Zhuo Fan. Didn't you notice his name has turned gray? Are you saying Zhuo Fan is dead? How did he die? Lu Ming, rank 3. There's a death replay on the chat group's public screen. Go watch it. Everyone should learn from this. He's the first member to die since our chat group was created. Yue Ming left the chat window and opened the chat group's public screen. The death replay showed that Zhuo Fan had not been murdered in some personal conflict. He had simply run into an overwhelmingly powerful entity. An entire city of tens of thousands was wiped out with no survivors. The entity looked like a rotten giant eye, exuding a vicious, otherworldly aura. From the strength it displayed, it was probably at least rank 3. No wonder Zhuo Fan couldn't escape. The mysterious world is too dangerous. Zhuo Fan really was unlucky. From the replay, it seemed the creature was just passing through, not deliberately slaughtering the city. It was tragic chance, or simply that the mysterious world was brimming with dangers. Compared to that, the swallowed star world seemed tame. Yue Ming, rank 2. I watched the replay. It's a pity about Zhuo Fan, but can't the chat group revive him? Li Shan, rank 5. There are ways. The chat group mall has many treasures that can revive people, but they cost origin points, ridiculously expensive. You could also ask Sectmaster Tongchen, but by the rules of the chat group, or rather, the rules of the transmigrator lineage, getting a 9th rank transcendent to act once costs at least hundreds of millions of origin points. That's even pricier than buying the revival treasures. Yue Ming, rank 2. I see. Maybe I was overthinking it. Yue Ming wasn't truly attached to Zhuo Fan. He had only chatted with him a few times. He was more curious whether Sectmaster Tongtian, as group leader, would bother to revive a member after death. For a 9th rank transcendent, reviving a rank 2 cultivator should be trivial. But the chat's silence and the absence of Sectmaster Tongtian from the replay showed how unlikely that was. If Zhuo Fan died without the leader even logging on, then Sectmaster Tongtian simply wouldn't care about such matters. A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Lu Ming, rank 2. I just noticed you, Yue Ming, broke through to rank 2. Your advancement is too fast. I remember you only joined the chat group a little over 3 years ago. Yue Ming, rank 2. To be precise, it's been less than 2 years since I transmigrated to the Swallowed Star World and joined the chat group. Time in the A Record of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality world should flow faster than in the Swallowed Star World. Chapter 22. Protection time flowed differently in the Swallowed Star World. So did the passage of time recorded in the chat group for transmigrators. Yue Ming wasn't surprised. The members of the chat group almost always experienced time at different rates in the worlds they ended up in. Only when everyone logged into the chat group did time briefly synchronize. Why this happened and what rules governed it was beyond Yue Ming's understanding. Maybe only 9th rank transcendents or even 10th rank ancestors knew the reason. Messages scrolled across the chat group screen. A Record of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality. Lu Ming, 2nd rank. The Swallowed Star World is still the best. Its cultivation environment and resources beat most other worlds. I hope I can visit someday. Swallowed Star, Yue Ming, 2nd rank. There will be a chance in the future. You are welcome to visit the Swallowed Star World then. Privately, Yue Ming thought, come if you dare. I'll kill you if you show up. 1 transmigrator per world was already too many. 2 who knew the plot would inevitably collide. When interests clashed, people were selfish. Yue Ming couldn't coexist with another transmigrator in the same world. If someone else had actually arrived in the Swallowed Star World, he'd do everything to eliminate them. Record of the 9 tripods. Teng Qingyun, 2nd rank. What did Sectmaster Tongtian say about Zhuo Fan's death? Coiling Dragon, Li Shan, 5th rank. How would I know what Sectmaster Tongtian thinks? For a transcendent like him, it's normal to go into seclusion for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of years. He's not going to care about our chat group affairs. Li Shanhe sighed inwardly. He couldn't bluntly tell everyone that Sectmaster Tongtian didn't care about their lives and deaths, that he simply couldn't be bothered with Zhuo Fan's case. Sure, they were alumni, but that didn't buy Li Shanhe enough face to ask Tongtian to revive Zhuo Fan. Even if he did have the clout to persuade the Sectmaster, he wouldn't waste that favor on someone else's problem. Favors were one use, and spending them on outsiders wasn't worth it. As for Zhuo Fan, he could only blame his own bad luck. Divine Tomb, Liu Shanshan, 4th rank. Let's stop talking about Zhuo Fan for now. None of us can do anything. When we have the ability in the future, then we can try to revive him. Talking about it now is useless. Global Martial Arts, Li Jing, 3rd rank. Sister Shanshan's right. Zhuo Fan's death is a warning to us all. Before we're truly strong, lay low. Don't end up like him, dying before you achieve anything. A Record of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality, Liu Ming, 2nd rank. Since Zhuo Fan's dead, what about his golden finger? Could it have fallen into that strange world? Yue Ming's interest peaked. If Zhuo Fan's golden finger had fallen into that strange world, they might be able to retrieve it there. Getting to that world wasn't an obvious option. The chat group didn't have a transmigration feature, but Sectmaster Tongqian, as a 9th-ranked transcendent, must have a way to send people across worlds. If Tongqian would help, even at the cost of hundreds of millions of origin points, it would be worth it. Of course, that assumed Tongqian would bother with him. Without extraordinary potential, Yue Ming doubted the Sectmaster would lend a hand. Coiling Dragon, Li Shanhe 5th rank. Don't be ridiculous. Once a chat group member dies, their golden finger is reclaimed by the chat group and can't be retrieved. Li Shanhe wouldn't admit it, but the moment he heard of Zhuo Fan's death, his first thought had been to get that golden finger. He'd even asked Tongqian to send him to the strange world, but had been told that the chat group reclaimed the golden finger of any deceased member. A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Lu Ming, 2nd rank. Cough, I was only curious. Besides, since Zhuo Fan's dead, as chat group members, we have the responsibility to retrieve his golden finger if we can. At worst, whoever gets it should be the one to revive him later. Shrouding the Heavens, Lu Ming 3rd rank. Lu Ming's right. Nobody would complain about another golden finger. Who wouldn't want Zhuo Fan's? And as Lu Ming said, whoever gets it should be responsible for reviving Zhuo Fan. It's a pity the chat group reclaimed it, otherwise I'd try to go to that strange world. Coiling Dragon, Li Shanhe 5th rank. It's really a pity. You might not know, Zhuo Fan's golden finger was the Great Tao to Simplicity system, ranked 244th on the golden finger leaderboard. Yue Ming reopened the chat group's public screen and checked the leaderboard entry for the Great Tao to Simplicity system. It was overpoweringly useful. It could simplify any cultivation technique. For example, cultivating the 9-layer Thunder Saber would be reduced to simply swinging the saber. Every swing increased proficiency, allowing someone to perfect the technique in days. Yue Ming couldn't fathom it. Zhuo Fan had apparently been in the chat group for decades, yet with such a powerful golden finger, he had only reached 2nd rank. Either Zhuo Fan had been incompetent or unlucky. Conversation about Zhuo Fan fizzled out, and the members moved on to trading anecdotes from their worlds. After 2 hours in the chat group, Yue Ming logged off and returned to stabilize his own realm. Half a month later, Yue Ming stepped out of the underground training room. His realm had finally stabilized after more than half a year of seclusion. He planned to rest for a few days and relax properly. He logged into the martial artist forum and skimmed the headlines. 2 items caught his eye. First, half a year ago, Hong, the world's strongest, and Thunder God, the 2nd strongest, had ventured deep into the ocean and killed 2 beast emperors. Humanity had sounded the horn of counterattack and begun reclaiming its homeland. Second, the Dojo of Limits had announced the death of God of War Luo Feng a month ago. If Yue Ming remembered correctly, Luo Feng had entered Ruin number 9. Because his brain domain breadth had reached 21, he triggered Yunmo Planet's special elite assessment and became trapped inside Ruin number 9. In the original timeline, Luo Feng had been trapped for 1 year and 3 months before emerging. Maybe I can help Luo Feng's family and do him a favor, Yue Ming thought. If he protected Luo Feng's family now, Luo Feng might owe him a debt of gratitude. It could give Yue Ming the leverage to go with him into the universe later. More importantly, protecting Luo Feng's family wouldn't be difficult for him at all. Chapter 23. Coercion and Inducement. I need a favor, Hong. Tell Yanhai to come to Ning'an residential area in person, Villa 188. I have something for him to do. Yue Ming had decided to protect Luo Feng's family, but he didn't need to do it with his own hands. He tapped his combat comms watch, found Hong's contact, and after Hong answered the video call, he asked him to summon Yanhai. The family had been harassed because of Li Yao, but Yue Ming had no interest in punishing Li Yao directly. He wanted the man behind Li Yao. He remembered the rumors. Yanhai was Li Yao's patron. The two had known each other since the Great Nirvana period and were supposedly close. Yanhai's strength was planet level 2, ranked among the top 10 on Earth, but his reputation was rotten. In the original tale, when the Golden Horn Beast attacked, It took 5 planet-level martial artists sacrificing themselves to cast the secret techniques that killed it. Yan Hai had hidden until the danger was gone and only shown up afterward. Worse, once he confirmed Luo Feng and the others were dead and Hong and Thunder God had fallen into deep sleep, Yan Hai and several other scoundrels colluded to persecute the families of heroes for cultivation resources. That betrayal had enraged everyone. When Luo Feng returned, he dealt Yan Hai a killing blow that many felt was deserved. "It's just a small matter," Yue Ming added to Hong. "When you're done, come meet us. You've been in seclusion over a year. Lazy's been itching to see you." "All right, I'll come once it's settled," Hong replied without pressing for details. Yue Ming didn't explain anything either. He treated Yan Hai as unimportant enough not to merit discussion. They set a time and hung up. Yue Ming then waited quietly in the villa living room for Yan Hai to arrive. Yan Hai cursed silently as soon as the call ended. Hong had personally summoned him by video and asked him to go to Villa 188. Hong never made a personal request like that without reason. He stood outside Ning'an residential area for several minutes to watch, confirming there was no ambush, before slipping in. The moment he stepped through Villa 188's front door, a crushing aura slammed him to the floor. He struggled but couldn't move. It felt like the end. He trembled and cursed Hong's ancestors a dozen times. But the expected killing blow never came. The oppressive aura slowly eased. "Come in," a calm voice said. Yan Hai scrambled to his feet, heart racing. He wanted to run, but common sense told him that was impossible. He walked into the living room and looked up, then immediately looked away. A young man sat at the coffee table, plain in appearance, no visible aura. Yet Yan Hai's recent experiences told him this was the most dangerous person he'd ever met. "You don't need to know who I am," Yue Ming said. "Hong brought you here because I have a task for you. Do it well and you will be rewarded. Fail and you can die. Believe me, if I want you dead, there's nowhere on earth that can save you." Yue Ming watched Yan Hai sweat and shake and allowed himself a small nod. The display of force had worked. Yan Hai's arrogance was checked. "If my lord has a task, please command it. I will do my utmost. Rewards mean nothing, only the honor of serving my lord," Yan Hai blurted out. "Are you sure you don't want the reward?" Yue Ming asked, setting a single grain of dragon crystal rice on the coffee table. Yan Hai's eyes widened. His breathing quickened. The dragon crystal rice hummed with life energy. He had been stuck at the peak of planet level 2 for more than 10 years. With that treasure, he was confident he could break through to planet level 3. "This is dragon crystal rice," Yue Ming said. "I will keep it here for you. Complete the task I set, and you may take it any time. The task is simple. Protect Luo Feng's family. Luo Feng will return within a year. When he does, your assignment is complete. If anything happens to them, I will hold you responsible with your life." "Yes!" Yan Hai swallowed the rest of the sentence. He would give anything for that rice. There was no way he would let it slip away. He knew Luo Feng and the enmity between Luo Feng and Li Yao, but for his own breakthrough, a little moral compromise was acceptable. If Li Yao had to suffer for his ascent, so be it. Yue Ming watched him, then added, "You must let Luo Feng's family know they are being protected by someone, but don't be obvious. Use your judgment. As long as the result satisfies me, your life will be spared, and the treasure will be yours. Do you understand?" Yan Hai nearly thumped his chest in affirmation. This was a matter of life and death, and of a precious path to planet level 3. He promised, "Understood. I will handle it perfectly. I'll arrange matters so they accidentally find out my lord is protecting them, and I'll make sure they're immeasurably grateful." The idea appealed to him. He'd originally considered warning Li Yao, but if Li Yao didn't cause trouble, Yan Hai wouldn't have the chance to stage a heroic rescue and win gratitude for the mysterious protector. Whether Li Yao paid a price later was not his concern. His own survival and advancement mattered far more. "Then go," Yue Ming said, dismissing him with a wave. Yan Hai left eager and calculating. Once he was gone, Yue Ming silently departed Villa 188 and flew through the air toward the dojo of Limit's headquarters, where he planned to meet Hong and Thunder God. Chapter 24, Gathering. "Ha ha ha, Yue Ming, you finally came out of seclusion. Don't forget our agreement from a year ago. This time we absolutely must spar. No more excuses. We'll talk about sparring after we finish drinking. Thunder God met Yue Ming the moment he arrived at the Dojo of Limit's headquarters and practically dragged him into the building. The headquarters looked like a spaceship because, in fact, Hong had salvaged a ship from a ruin years ago and converted it into the dojo's base. Thunder God led him into a spacious hall where Hong had already laid out drinks and was waiting. When Yue Ming entered, Hong rose to greet him and personally invited him to sit. If anyone else had seen it, they would have been stunned. Yue Ming, try this wine. I've kept it for years. I hardly ever bring it out. Once they were seated, Hong poured wine for Yue Ming and Thunder God. The room filled with the scent of aged liquor. To have the world's top figure personally pour wine, that kind of treatment was rare indeed. Brother Hong, you're spoiling us, Thunder God complained. You say this is the good stuff you save for special occasions, but when I asked you for it before you claimed there was none left, I'm going to drink you dry. Have you not already bled me for enough wine? Hong shot back. I only have a few jars left. Don't waste them all. This is really good wine, Yue Ming said, tasting it. It was delicious and carried a strong life energy resonance. Not as potent as dragon crystal rice, but comparable to several spirit herbs. You've been in seclusion for so long, Yue Ming. You must have made progress, Hong said. I have, Yue Ming admitted. But you two aren't lagging. You've both broken through to astral rank. Still, don't over-focus on realm breakthroughs. Spend more time on understanding domain and law. Among the true geniuses in the universe, almost every astral rank cultivator has a domain, and the top geniuses are already breaking into the threshold of origin law. He didn't want them to chase realm titles at the expense of domain and law comprehension. If the peak genius battle came and they missed the chance because they'd rushed to universe rank, that would be a real loss. In the original timeline, the two had failed to seize that opportunity, and Luo Feng surged ahead. It was still early. If they concentrated on domain and law now, they might still fare well later. Improving domain is so hard, Hong said. My domain just reached the second stage, and I've been working at it for over a year. I don't feel much progress. I don't know when I'll see the next breakthrough. I've been stuck at the first stage for years, Thunder God added. If I got to the second stage now, it's more the result of accumulated effort. Third stage, though, that'll take decades, I think. You don't have a secret technique's legacy or a renowned master guiding you, so it's naturally tough, Yue Ming said. Once you get a true secret techniques and some direction, your comprehension will speed up. They nodded. Yue Ming understood their difficulty. Without a legacy or master, every step had to be found by trial and error. Fortunately, Earth had produced Luo Feng. Once Luo Feng obtained the legacy of Yunmo planet, the two would eventually benefit. You don't have a legacy either? Thunder God prompted. I know where one is, Yue Ming said, but to claim it, you must be a Psyker Master. On Earth, only one person fits that bill. Who? Hong and Thunder God asked together. Luo Feng from your dojo, Yue Ming answered. His Psyker Master talent is incredibly strong, the best on Earth. Only he can get that legacy. Unfortunately, he's trapped in Ruin Number 9 and won't be out soon. You'll just have to be patient. You mean he isn't dead, just trapped? Hong asked. Yes, the assessments in Ruin Number 9 vary. Luo Feng's talent is so high, they put him into a special elite trial. He has to cultivate a secret technique within 3 years. With his talent, he should manage it, but it'll still take a year or two. As long as he's alive, that's good. When he comes out, we'll have him claim that legacy, Hong said. They didn't press Yue Ming for more. People keep secrets. Yue Ming telling them this much was already generous. They switched topics to the larger picture, humanity recapturing their homeland and rebuilding. Time passed. 2 jars of the fine wine were emptied. Then Thunder God brought up the old subject again and tugged Yue Ming outside for a spar. You sure you want to spar with me? Yue Ming asked. He released his water domain, but he didn't go all out. Its strength was only at the 5th stage. Even so, a 5th stage domain was more than enough. It completely suppressed Thunder God, binding him in place and leaving him unable to move. Forget it. Consider me never having suggested a spar, Thunder God muttered, his face darkening with embarrassment. He had been thoroughly dominated and had no power to resist. He'd never mentioned sparring again. Hong's expression flickered with surprise. His own second-stage domain was powerful, but he couldn't have done what Yue Ming had just done, to bind Thunder God so fully. "What stage is your domain at?" he asked. "It's taken me over a year of seclusion. Did you think I was wasting my time?" "I've been working on the water domain. It's at the 5th stage now," Yue Ming said casually. He lied. The truth, that in just over a year, he'd leapt from the first stage to the threshold of origin law for both water and space, was too shocking to reveal. "Monster," Hong and Thunder God said at the same time, exchanging a look. "This might just be talent," Hong said. "After this gathering, I'll go back into seclusion. This time, I'll be gone at least half a year. When I come out, I'll find you two for another drink. Don't let me pull too far ahead." Hearing that, Hong and Thunder God felt the pressure and quietly resolved to seclude themselves after the gathering. With the Beast Emperors gone and the 5 major powers overseeing humanity's return and reconstruction, there was less need for constant vigilance. "All right, the wine's gone. Let's call it a night," Hong said. "I need to go back into seclusion too," Thunder God added. Though he'd been suppressed, he wasn't discouraged. Rather than sulk, he felt fired up and ready to train harder. Chapter 25. Luo Feng returns. After returning from the Dojo of Limit's headquarters, Yue Ming retreated into seclusion. He went to the underground training room, sat cross-legged on a futon, and with a thought opened the space-time jammer Small World. From it, he took out a water element godhead and set about fully comprehending the water origin law. With the water godhead assisting his understanding, Yue Ming's progress was astonishing. In just 2 months, his comprehension had reached 2%. Time slipped by. Before he knew it, nearly a year had passed. On this day, in the underground base of Ruin Number 9, the ruin's gate slowly opened. Instantly, everyone in the base turned to watch. The gate was the passage to the ruin itself, and each time it opened, it meant a god of war was emerging. "Someone's coming out? That can't be right. All the gods of war who entered this year have come back already. Has someone actually stayed inside more than 3 months? Hurry, let's see who it is." Under normal circumstances, anyone who entered the ruin emerged within 3 months. Anyone gone longer was usually presumed dead. Watching the gate part, the whole hall waited with bated breath to see who would appear. "Welcome back, God of War Luo Feng." A figure in black stepped out of the passageway as the gate finished opening. The base control system pinged a prompt. The person emerging from the ruin was Luo Feng. "Luo Feng is alive?" The underground hall erupted. Luo Feng's presumed death a year and 3 months earlier had caused a huge stir. Even Hong, head of the Dojo of Limits, had treated it as a major matter. Many had mourned him as gone forever. Nobody expected that after a year and 3 months, Luo Feng would actually walk out of the ruin. News of his return spread quickly through the staff, then outward to their factions. The peerless genius of old, the invincible Psyker Master God of War, had stayed inside a ruin for a year and 3 months and come back alive. It was earth-shattering. At the Dojo of Limits global headquarters, in a spacious chamber on the top floor of the spaceship-like building, Hong sat cross-legged with his eyes closed, comprehending his domain. There was a knock at the door. Hong's brow tightened. He had ordered not to be disturbed unless something major happened. "Come in," he called. "Head, Luo Feng has emerged from Ruin Number 9. "Excellent." Hong's spirits rose. With Luo Feng back, the legacy Yue Ming had mentioned last time could now be arranged for him to acquire. Once Luo Feng obtained that legacy, he would receive secret techniques that would greatly accelerate his domain comprehension. "Hey, Yue Ming, Luo Feng is back." "Understood." After ending the call with Hong, Yue Ming rose slowly. His seclusion had lasted nearly a year. It was time to come out and rest a few days. Thinking over what he'd gained during this period, a smile crossed his face. Rank, Astral Rank 3. 2. Realm, Water. Origin Law 6%. Space Origin Law 1%. Genes, 100 times Force Exertion. 7 secret techniques. None. After almost a year, Yue Ming had broken through to Astral Rank 3, and his comprehension of the Water Origin Law had reached 6%. If he had focused on cultivation rank rather than law comprehension, he might have advanced far faster, perhaps even to Astral Rank 9 in a year. But there were still 8 years before the peak genius battle. He could afford to improve his cultivation realm gradually while focusing on origin laws. There was no need to rush breakthroughs now. When Luo Feng returned to the Ning'an residential area and learned what had happened to his family, rage consumed him. He wanted nothing more than to find Li Yao and tear him apart. In Luo Feng's heart, his family was everything. Anyone who harmed them deserved to die. Brother, ever since the Dojo of Limits announced your death, Li Yao used his connections to target our family, Luo Hua reported. He didn't dare kill family members of Dojo of Limits martial artists outright, but his methods were vile and cruel. Once Mom and Dad nearly had a car accident crossing the street. Someone intervened and saved them. Otherwise, who saved them? I must thank them properly, Luo Feng demanded. That person said he was only following orders and couldn't reveal who hired him. I dug into it and found a clue. The person lives in Villa No. 188 in Ning'an residential area. I couldn't find the identity beyond that. Later, that person spoke up and forced Li Yao to stop targeting us. Otherwise, by the time you returned, we might not have been here. Li Yao deserves to die. Luo Feng's killing intent flared. After Li Yao fled to Europe, Luo Feng had been too focused on his own path to pursue him. But once his death was announced, Li Yao had immediately struck at his family. This time, Luo Feng would not be merciful. He swore he would kill Li Yao. The thought that his family might have been lost forever made him sick with regret. Even if he avenged them later, their lives could not be restored. Leave it to me. I'll eliminate Li Yao. I won't let him live. And I'll visit whoever helped our family to thank them properly. Are there any spirit plants left at home? I want to take them as a gift. 2 left, Luo Hua said. No matter how precious the spirit plants were, a life was worth infinitely more. Luo Hua didn't object to Luo Feng giving them away. Ding dong. I am Luo Feng, here to pay my respects. After comforting his parents, Luo Feng carried the 2 spirit plants to Villa No. 188 in Ning'an residential area to express his gratitude. He pressed the bell and waited politely outside. It would be rude to barge in. Come in. Yue Ming was not surprised to see Luo Feng. Given Luo Feng's character, he knew that as soon as he discovered Yue Ming had protected his family, he would come to offer thanks. Yue Ming had been waiting for him since he left seclusion. Chapter 26, A Visit of Gratitude. I am Luo Feng. I apologize for my unannounced visit. Luo Feng's face froze for a moment when he saw Yue Ming. He hadn't expected him to be so young, only a few years older than himself. Worse, he couldn't sense any chi fluctuations from the young man, which made him suspect Yue Ming wasn't a martial artist at all. If that were true, why had Li Yao been so cautious around him? I specifically came to thank you for protecting my family. I brought a small gift to show my gratitude. Luo Feng began, then abruptly blurted, How is this possible? He stared with horror. After passing the special elite assessment in Ruin No. 9, Luo Feng had obtained several relics, one of them an intelligent optical computer. That device could accurately detect other people's strength. Curious about Yue Ming, Luo Feng had the computer scan him. The result came back. Astral rank, 3rd realm, astral rank. It was inconceivable on Earth. Even Hong, the head of the Dojo of Limits and the world's top fighter, was only at the planetary level. How could an astral rank exist on Earth? Luo Feng didn't know that more than a year, while he'd been trapped in Ruin No. 9, Earth had changed. Hong and Thunder God had both broken through to astral rank. Having just returned, Luo Feng hadn't had the chance to visit the Dojo of Limits. He'd come straight to Yue Ming's home, so he had no idea. What's wrong? Yue Ming asked with a faint smile. He noticed Luo Feng's momentary unease. Although Yue Ming couldn't sense the optical computer's scan, he could read the other's expression well enough. The young man was startled by something he couldn't explain. Ahem, nothing, Luo Feng forced, recovering. It's just, you're much younger than I expected. He used that excuse to steady himself, but inside his mind was a storm. He knew from Ruin No. 9 how terrifying the astral rank could be. My name is Yue Ming, Yue Ming said. I'm only a few years older than you. Call me Yue Ming or Brother Ming if you prefer. Come sit and have some tea. This tea was sent by your head. It's the first time I've tried it. They said it's Mother Tree de Hong Pao, rare and low in yield. Your head specially sent people to Wuyi Mountain to pick it. Yue Ming poured him a cup, deliberately invoking Hong's name to put Luo Feng at ease. It worked. Mentioning the head signaled a connection, and Luo Feng visibly relaxed. If Yue Ming was on good terms with Hong, then out of respect for the Dojo of Limits, he would not cause trouble. I know your head, Luo Feng admitted. He bowed his head slightly. As for the spirit of grass and wood, please take it back. It's useless to me. Keep it for your parents. They're older and need it more for recovery. If you insist on thanking me, call it a debt. If I ever need help, I'll repay you. Okay, Yue Ming said quietly. Luo Feng's tone was solemn. He had to accept the favor. Yue Ming had saved his family. He took back the spirit of grass and wood. For an astral rank martial artist like Yue Ming, it was of little use. There is one more thing, Yue Ming continued. I know of a place that holds a legacy, but to obtain it, you must be a psyker master. On Earth, your psyker talent is the highest. I think you should try. What kind of legacy? Luo Feng asked. I only know it belonged to a powerful individual. The legacy includes some clues, sparse details. It seems to be connected to a school called Yunmo Planet. I need to think about it, Luo Feng said. He didn't want a repeat of the Ruin No. 9 incident that would bring his family more worry. Besides, if he were to attempt it, he'd have to deal with Li Yao first. Yunmo Planet. Luo Feng silently repeated the name. He had heard it once before. The token he received after the special assessment in Ruin No. 9, according to the bald intelligent optical computer there, could be used to join a school called Yunmo Planet. But that machine had also said it hadn't been able to contact Yunmo Planet for years. Something must have happened to the school. No institution lasts forever. The ruin had survived, but Yunmo Planet might be in distress. Take your time, Yue Ming said. When you've decided, you can go and accept that legacy. They moved on to other topics. The changes on Earth over the past year, the developments in the martial world. An hour later, Luo Feng took his leave. Not long after, Hong called Yue Ming by video. Luo Feng visited you? He asked. Yes, he just left. I told him about that legacy. He said he needs to think it over. Let him think. He'll decide in his own time. Hong trusted Luo Feng's judgment. Although they'd only met a few times, Hong understood him well enough not to force the issue. Where is this legacy located? He asked. Mist Island, in Australia. The same island where Luo Feng discovered the spirit of grass and wood last time, Yue Ming replied. Yue Ming learned later that after he harvested those spirits on Mist Island, events had followed the original course. Babata had secretly cultivated many more spirits of grass and wood after Yue Ming's harvest. The island's abundance had been far from accidental. Hong had long suspected something unusual about Mist Island. So many spirits appearing on an otherwise deserted island was abnormal. His patrol envoys and guards had searched the island carefully before, but found nothing. At the time, Hong had other matters to handle and hadn't gone himself. He had never expected the legacy Yue Ming mentioned to be located there. Chapter 27. Opportunity on Mist Island. After ending the video call with Hong, Yue Ming lowered his head in thought. The core of the Yunmo Planet legacy was the Psyker Master legacy, but it also contained many martial artists' secret techniques. Even the ordinary grade manuals would be valuable in the early stages. Yue Ming didn't need techniques that helped comprehend origin laws. He had a divinity, and no manual could match that. What he needed most were offensive techniques. The Yunmo legacy probably wouldn't include offensive methods for water-space fusion, but it was likely to hold techniques for the water origin and space origin laws. He also needed manuals about power exertion. His current power exertion rank was too low, and most of the Earth manuals taught incorrect methods. Even if Yue Ming had done nothing, Luo Feng would have obtained the Yunmo legacy sooner or later. In the original timeline, however, Luo Feng cultivated alone after acquiring the legacy, and only shared techniques with Hong and Thunder God after he possessed the Golden Horned Beast, an extra delay of more than 2 years. Given the danger of revealing such a find, Luo Feng's caution made sense, but because Yue Ming had intervened, everyone had helped secure the legacy. With Luo Feng's character, he would be willing to share the martial artist techniques. Babata might object, but they could always join Yunmo Planet later, just as in the original story. Getting the Yunmo martial artist legacy was secondary. Yue Ming's main goal was to accelerate Luo Feng's ascent so he could leave Earth sooner and gain access to the universe's rare techniques and treasures. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye, and a lot happened. The feud between Luo Feng and Li Yao caused a major stir on Earth. With substantial evidence from Luo Feng, Li Yao and his wife were ultimately sentenced to death. After settling that matter, Luo Feng broke through to planetary level and officially became the 6th patrol inspector of the Dojo of Limits. Yue Ming, something unexpected has happened on Mist Island. A planet level 6 beast emperor has appeared. Hong's voice came urgently over the connection. You and Thunder God wait for me at the Dojo of Limits. I'm on my way. 10 minutes earlier, a planet level 6 beast emperor had suddenly manifested on Mist Island, emerging as if from thin air. Hong sensed it immediately and notified Yue Ming and Thunder God. Yue Ming headed straight to the Dojo of Limits headquarters. If he wasn't mistaken, this matched the original timeline. Babada had cultivated the Beast Emperor to lure Luo Feng to Mist Island. Hong, this is our chance to acquire that legacy. Call Luo Feng in and ask if he'll go to Mist Island to claim it, Yue Ming instructed. Yue Ming arrived to find Hong and Thunder God already waiting. After a brief exchange, Yue Ming asked Hong to contact Luo Feng. All they needed to do was bring Luo Feng to Mist Island, and the Yunmo legacy would likely be theirs. Luo Feng, I called you here to follow up on the legacy I told you about. You said you needed time to consider it. What have you decided? Are you willing to accept it? I'm willing to go. Luo Feng's answer was immediate. The risk was there, but the opportunity to grow stronger stood before him. He had to seize it. That legacy is on Mist Island. We'll set off now. Once we arrive, we'll take care of the Beast Emperor, and you'll be free to search beneath Mist Island for the legacy. Our only condition is that you share some martial artist secret techniques with us. Everything else you find or claim, treasures, relics, are yours. That's all. Luo Feng nodded. It was not an unreasonable request. He'd considered things carefully, and he also didn't expect the legacy to be on Mist Island, though the place wasn't unfamiliar. He had harvested many spirit grasses and wood there before. Then let's go. They boarded an intelligent fighter and flew to Australia. By the time they reached the lake surrounding Mist Island, a crowd had gathered, representatives from many factions, but no one dared come close to the water. Planetary-level martial artists steered clear as well. Only Hong and Thunder God on Earth had the strength to challenge or kill a Beast Emperor. Knowing one lurked in the lake, no one wanted to risk a needless death. Why are so many people here? Luo Feng asked quietly. Even for such a small island, it's strange to spawn so much spirit grass and wood, someone nearby muttered. The lake is packed with monster lords, worse than the ocean. Now a Beast Emperor has shown up. Everyone thinks a rare treasure is here. Ignore them, Yue Ming said. Thunder God, take the Beast Emperor. Luo Feng, do as planned. Understood? The Beast Emperor is mine, Thunder God replied. He drew his blade and plunged into the lake. A moment later, a sky-shattering roar erupted from beneath the surface, churning the water into a monstrous wave. Even though fighting underwater dulled some of his strength, Thunder God was an astral rank expert and had mastered a domain. Killing a planet level 6 monster was within his capability. The clash was brief. In less than a minute, the battle ended. Thunder God broke the surface, dragging a colossal corpse behind him, an octopus-like behemoth with tentacles over 1,000 meters long and a main body the size of a small mountain. Then a faint, pleasant scent drifted over the edge of the lake. It was subtle, like the aroma of cooked grain, strange and alluring. The fragrance is coming from the bottom of the lake. There must be a treasure down there, someone shouted. Without hesitation, several bold martial artists dove into the lake, including Luo Feng. It wasn't long before someone discovered clusters of wood-tooth crystal on the lakebed, and a scramble to claim them began. There's wood-tooth crystal. Are you not going to make a move? One diver asked another. Let's not, the other replied. We're already astral rank. That little wood-tooth crystal won't do us much good. Refining it takes ages. It's far more efficient to trade for dragon crystal rice. I don't have much dragon crystal rice either, the first admitted, but if you need it, I can trade some. They laughed and negotiated as people continued to dive and fight for the prizes hidden beneath Mist Island. Chapter 28. Babada. By the time the contest for the wood-tooth crystals ended, most people had walked away empty-handed. There were far too many competitors and only a handful of crystals. Babata had only thrown out a few dozen in total, nowhere near enough for everyone. "Let's talk back home," Yue Ming said. Soon Luo Feng returned. Yue Ming cut in when he saw Luo Feng's hesitant look. The group boarded an intelligent fighter and headed back to the dojo of Limit's headquarters. They arrived at the top-floor lounge of the headquarters building and sat together. "Luo Feng, did you receive the legacy?" Yue Ming asked. A holographic figure appeared on Luo Feng's shoulder, Babata. "Kid, how do you know about Yunmo Planet? And how do you know there's a legacy on Mist Island?" the projection asked. Luo Feng introduced him. "This is Babata. He's an intelligent life form. He's been with me since I recovered the legacy." Babata frowned. "Mist Island, huh? I was there before. I remember harvesting a lot of wood spirit energy last time." Later, Luo Feng found an even larger patch of spirit grass and wood there. Any fool would know something strange was going on. "If I'm right, that surplus of spirit energy was probably your doing." "As for how I know so much about Yunmo Planet," he continued, "I once had an opportunity and obtained an automaton race spaceship. Inside were cultivation resources and secret files, some of which mentioned Yunmo Planet." "What kind of automaton race ship?" Yue Ming asked. "It was a pyramid-shaped ship." "That explains it. No wonder you know so much about Yunmo Planet. So you got the machine race immortal's legacy." Yue Ming finished. Babata shook his head. "It wasn't really a legacy. I just managed to get a spaceship and some cultivation materials. Maybe that machine race immortal died too suddenly to arrange anything. Precisely because of how abruptly he died, I was able to take the ship." As Babata told the story, the others finally understood what had happened to Huyambo. Huyambo had contended for a treasure and misjudged his opponent, the Demon Hand King. He was severely wounded and only survived initially thanks to the Yunmo starship. The Demon Hand King pursued and used soul-type attack secret techniques to strike Huyanbo through the ship. Huyanbo's second disciple suffered soul annihilation and died on the spot. Tempted by treasure and glory, an automaton race immortal followed the Yunmo starship back to Earth. But when he boarded the crashed ship, he found 9 other powerful presences inside, Huyanbo's 9 soul slaves. Huyambo himself was a Marquise Undying and also skilled in soul-type attacks. The combined effort of Huyambo and his Undying servants quickly overwhelmed and killed the machine race immortal. His death had come too suddenly for him to make any final arrangements, which is why the ship and its contents were left behind. That also explained how Luo Feng had been able to acquire the automaton race ship so easily in the original story. After killing the machine race immortal, Huyambo was completely exhausted. He used techniques to mask Earth's coordinates, settled his final affairs, and then died. Since Yue Ming had acquired the machine race immortal's legacy, Babata's knowledge of these events made sense. "You can have the martial artist's secret techniques from Yunmo Planet," Babata said, "but you must join Yunmo Planet." "No problem, we'll all join," Yue Ming and the others said at once. They had already discussed it. Yunmo Planet was effectively a nominal affiliation now. There was no downside to joining. Babata looked put out. He felt like he'd been duped, but he had little choice. "Fine. Tell me what you need, and I'll select appropriate secret techniques." With Babata persuaded, they began to state their needs. "I need secret techniques to help me comprehend the law of light," one said. "I need ones to help with the law of lightning," another said. Yue Ming's list was longer. "My requests are more extensive. I need water origin law attack secret techniques and space origin law attack secret techniques, plus techniques for body exertion. Don't give me basic stuff. I want exertion techniques that allow a maximum exertion level of 100 times, and I don't have an intelligent optical computer yet. Could you give me one? To break through to Undying, body exertion must reach 100 times. If Huyanbo had broken through, he must have had a technique that achieved that level." Babata's expression darkened as Yue Ming's demands grew, but in the end, he relented. "You certainly ask for a lot, and you know your stuff. Fine, you are now part of Yunmo Planet, so I'll give it to you." Babata handed Yue Ming an intelligent optical computer storing all the secret techniques Yue Ming had requested. Yue Ming took off his combat communication watch, put on the optical computer, and thanked Babata. Oh, by the way, Babata added, when I first obtained the automaton race ship, I went to ruin number 12. I saw another spaceship there. You and Luo Feng should go check it out when you have time, see if it's still usable. If Yunmo planet is going to develop, we can't stay on Earth forever. We'll need to leave, so it's best to prepare early. What kind of spaceship? Luo Feng asked. You'll see when you go. All right, we'll go when we have time. Yue Ming hadn't been to Ruin No. 12 himself, but from reading the original work, he knew the ship there was remarkably intact. Luo Feng had relied on such a ship to leave Earth in the original story. I'm going back into seclusion to study these secret techniques, Yue Ming said. Contact me if anything comes up. Having obtained the techniques, he didn't linger at the Dojo of Limits headquarters. He returned to Ning'an residential area to enter seclusion. P.S. I reread the original work and couldn't find the origin of the automaton race spaceship. It might have belonged to one of Hu Yanbo's servants, but it's more likely an enemy's. If it had been a servant's, Babata would probably have had control over it. Chapter 29, Enlightenment Cushion, Water Sky One Line, 7-layered space, primal saint body. Yue Ming returned to Ning'an residential area and immediately went into seclusion, opening his intelligent optical terminal to study the secret techniques. Water Sky One Line was an offensive secret technique based on the water origin law. 7-layered space blended attack and movement, but leaned toward movement. It was the only martial artist space secret technique in the Yunmo planet legacy, so Yue Ming had no choice. The primal saint body he received contained only the first volume. As expected from the prefaces, Water Sky One Line and 7-layered space were ordinary secret techniques. Almost every martial artist's secret technique in the Yunmo planet legacy was of ordinary rank. Only the primal saint body's rank was unknown, and Yue Ming had only the initial volume. Could Babata have kept something back? Given Babata's personality, it was possible. Yue Ming contacted Luo Feng and asked him to call Babata. A dazzling light coalesced into a virtual figure, and Babata perched on Luo Feng's shoulder, looking at Yue Ming with a displeased expression. If you've got something to say it quickly. Don't disturb my game. Babata, that's a bit much. I'm a member of Yunmo Planet now, too, but you only gave me the first volume of Primal Saint Body. Why? Because I only have the first volume, Babata replied. He explained the origins of the Primal Saint Body. Hu Yanbo had bought the technique at an auction. Rumor said it had been created by a great universe exalt. The first volume recorded the 100-fold exertion technique. The second volume recorded the 100-fold divine body amplification technique. Hu Yanbo used the primal saint body to achieve 100-fold exertion and thus broke through to the undying spiritual god realm. Afterwards, despite searching for the second volume for tens of thousands of years, he found no trace of it. Perhaps only the universe's top powers possessed a complete manual. If that's the case, then so be it, Yue Ming said and ended the call. He concentrated on comprehending the secret techniques. 2 months passed in a flash. Yue Ming brought all 3 secret techniques up to entry level, corrected his incorrect methods of force exertion, and achieved a breakthrough. His exertion multiplier rose to 15 times. That might explain the difference between being a personal disciple and an ordinary Yunmo planet disciple. When Luo Feng had obtained the Yunmo planet legacy, all secret techniques had automatically reached entry level upon receiving the soul imprints. He didn't need to cultivate them himself. Yue Ming, however, still had to cultivate them personally. Rank Astral Rank Stage 3, Stage 2. Realm Water Origin Law 6%, Space Origin Law 1%. Genes 100 times exertion, 15 times secret techniques. Water Sky One Line, 7-layered space, Primal Saint Body, Volume 1. He did not continue cultivating secret techniques right away. Next, he prepared to advance his comprehension of a godhead. For secrecy, Yue Ming retreated into the space-time jammer pocket world to work. This time, he intended to study the space element godhead. As a higher law, the space origin law was vastly harder to comprehend. Even with the godhead's help, he spent more than half a year raising his comprehension to 2%. At this pace, the water origin law shouldn't be a problem. I'll reach 15% before the peak genius battle starts. But the space origin law is uncertain. I need something to speed up comprehension. Yue Ming muttered. He logged into the chat group mall and searched for treasures that assisted in enlightenment. The Godhead itself was already the best aid, but any additional boosters would help. The search returned many items: innate Bodhi seed, seed of a Bodhi tree from a high-end primordial world that calms the mind and enhances comprehension; eternal heavenly pearl, a pearl from an eternal Xuanhuan world that absorbs luck and could reportedly grant a 100-fold comprehension boost; undying throne, the supreme relic of the undying race that bestows heavenly blessings when sat upon. Most top items were rank 6, far beyond his current means. Yue Ming could only afford up to rank 3 with his points. Filtering out treasures above rank 4, he settled on a rank 3 enlightenment cushion to assist in comprehension. He also searched for items that enhanced comprehension ability and found a rare rank 3 heavenly spirit fruit. Treasures that increased comprehension were pricier, but both items were within budget. Purchase enlightenment cushion. Deduct 1.2 quadrillion points. Purchase heavenly spirit fruit. Deduct 1.8 quadrillion points. When the points were deducted, a white jade-like cushion and a crimson fruit materialized in his hands. The two rank 3 treasures together cost 3 quadrillion points. After the purchase, Yue Ming had just over 1.4 quadrillion points remaining. That amount looked large, but it wasn't enough. A low-grade godhead might be affordable for over a quadrillion points, but a mid-rank godhead would cost several quadrillion or even tens of quadrillion points. He had to find a way to earn more. He'd thought about earning points before. Selling secret techniques he'd found in swallowed star space was one option, but cultivation techniques were cheap in the chat group mall, so resale wouldn't be profitable. The Virtual Universe Corporation sold things for points, and points weren't easy to come by there. Yue Ming concluded that selling treasures which enhanced gene level would be more lucrative. In the swallowed star universe, many exalts still had ordinary gene levels. A rank 1 gene-enhancing treasure that cost only dozens of points in the mall could sell for tens of thousands of Hunyuan units outside. He remembered from the original record that the Virtual Universe Corporation recycled Blood River Crystal for 600 points each, equivalent to 600 Hunyuan units, and Luo Feng was forbidden from selling or gifting them outside without approval. That showed how tightly controlled and valuable gene-level treasures were. Outside, such items could fetch 10 to 100 times their mall value. Compared to Blood River Crystal, the treasures Yue Ming bought from the mall were even better. With a cost of dozens of points, they could sell for at least tens of thousands of Hunyuan units, a profit margin of trillions. Yue Ming tucked the enlightenment cushion and the heavenly spirit fruit away and began to plan how to enter the universe and find buyers. Chapter 30. The possibility of becoming an administrator. Although selling treasures that boost genetic potential could earn a fortune in points, Yue Ming knew full well that openly trading such items was a death wish. He would become a target. No matter how carefully he hid, anyone determined to investigate would eventually find him. Unless he possessed absolute self-preservation, he would never dare expose such treasures, just as the Godhead remained concealed. Only after joining the Virtual Universe Corporation and achieving a certain rank, like becoming a disciple of a Universe Lord, would he risk showing off items that enhanced genetic potential. The Godhead itself he wouldn't reveal until he was invincible in the primordial universe. I'll find ways to earn points slowly once I'm in the universe. For now, let's test the heavenly spirit fruit and see what it does. Yue Ming picked up the fruit and swallowed it in a few bites. A cool clarity spread through his mind. There was no outward change, comprehension ability didn't manifest physically, but the effect was obvious to him. He set the space element Godhead beside him, sat on the enlightenment cushion, and began to study the space origin law. The speed of comprehending the space origin law has at least tripled. With the heavenly spirit fruit sharpening his comprehension ability and the enlightenment cushion supporting him, his understanding of the space origin law accelerated to nearly 4 times his original rate, far better than he'd expected. Yue Ming went into seclusion for almost another half-year. When he emerged, he had pushed his comprehension of the space origin law to 5% and raised his cultivation realm to astral rank stage 4. He planned to rest for a few days, but as soon as he opened his eyes, his intelligent optical computer pinged 3 unread emails, all from Luo Feng. The space-time jammer small world blocked external signals, so emails couldn't arrive while he was inside. All 3 messages said the same thing. About half a year ago, Luo Feng had gone to ruin number 12 and found the spaceship Yue Ming had mentioned. The ship had a self-destruct program. Babata nearly failed when trying to invade the ship's system. In the end, he had to forcibly destroy the ship's system, which heavily damaged the vessel. After more than 6 months of difficult repairs, the ship had finally been restored. Luo Feng's last line said he planned to enter the universe soon and asked if Yue Ming wanted to go with him. Yue Ming answered the video call. "Hello, Luo Feng. Brother Ming, you finally came out of seclusion. Brother Hong was right. You really are a cultivation addict, gone for a whole year. Did you read my emails? Babata fixed the spaceship, and I'm leaving Earth soon. Want to come? Let's go together. When are you leaving? In about a week." They chatted a few minutes, agreed to depart in a week, and ended the call. Yue Ming then logged into the chat group. He hadn't been online for the entire year he'd been secluded. When he signed in, he found a new member, and there had been no notification. This lousy chat group doesn't even notify when a new member joins? Other chat groups had mini-games, red envelopes, live streams, transmigration features, daily sign-ins. Their group had none of that. The only real benefit was that new members received an exclusive golden finger on joining. Otherwise, you were on your own. Yue Ming, second stage. What's going on? A new member joined the chat group and we didn't even get a notification? Li fifth stage. You'll get used to it. You came at the right time. I'm the only one online and was bored out of my mind, just looking for someone to chat with. Yue Ming, second stage. Don't you need to cultivate? Are you just idling in the group all day? Li Shanhe, fifth stage. When you reach my realm, you'll understand. At my level, I can split a wisp of mind to hang out in the group without it affecting my cultivation. That doesn't mean I only loaf around here, though. Yue Ming, second stage. So who's the new guy? He transmigrated to the smiling, proud wanderer world, and his name's Invincible East? Ha ha ha. Right, he transmigrated as Invincible East. His golden finger lets him see other people's opportunities. Luckily, the chat group mall has lots of treasures for limb regeneration, but after regrowing his limbs, his sunflower manual cultivation is basically ruined. Yue Ming, second stage. How do you know what his golden finger is? Did he tell you? He can't be that foolish. Li Shanhe, fifth stage. He didn't tell me, and I don't have the authority to check directly, but I can ask Sectmaster Tongtian. Actually, I know the golden fingers of all chat group members. For example, yours is the Law Fusion device. Don't worry, others can't take your golden finger. If a chat group member dies, the golden finger gets reclaimed by the group, and others can't obtain it. I'll delete this message so the record disappears. Yue Ming, second stage. This chat group isn't yours, is it? Is Sectmaster Tongtian just your alt account? But no, I haven't seen you try to con us for benefits. Yue Ming thought of common tropes in chat group novels where the owner uses an alt to trick members into giving up advantages. Li Shanhe, fifth stage. Your imagination's good. Don't doubt this. Next time the chat group issues a mission and everyone meets offline, you'll see. In fact, once you break through to the sixth stage and become an administrator of the chat group, you can even apply to temporarily visit other chat groups. Above the sixth stage, you're considered a mid-level member of the transmigrator lineage. Yue Ming, second stage. Break through to the sixth stage and become a chat group administrator. Li Shan, fifth stage. The chat group can hold up to 9,999 members, but there are at most 9 administrators. It depends on who breaks through to the sixth stage first. The group's new, so old members like us have an advantage, though one can't discount lucky folks like Sectmaster Tongtian, who transmigrated already at 7th stage strength. Yue Ming, second stage. True, those with heaven-defying luck like Tongtian are rare. By the way, what's your golden finger? You know mine, but I don't know yours. I feel so unbalanced. Li Shanhe, fifth stage. No harm telling you. Mine's the attribute panel, the kind that lets you add points. It ranks 112th on the Golden Finger leaderboard. Yue Ming, second stage. Damn. On the chat group Golden Finger leaderboard, there were hundreds of millions of different Golden Fingers. Attribute panels came in dozens of varieties. Some let you allocate points directly, some increased proficiency, some scavenged attributes. But an attribute panel that allowed direct point allocation was unquestionably one of the best. Chapter 31, Advantages of a Great World. Yue Ming, Swallowed Star, Rank 2. Since you know what the golden fingers of everyone in our chat group are, has anyone gotten a golden finger ranked in the top 100? The top 100 golden fingers are all world-shaking. Getting any one of them can accelerate your progress massively. Especially the top 30, some of those let you get stronger just by lying around. Li Shanhei, Rank 5. In our chat group, only Sect Master Tongqian got a golden finger in the top 100. It's the Future Life Simulator, ranked 18th. Simulator-type golden fingers are deceptively powerful if you know how to use them. Yue Ming, Swallowed Star, Rank 2. I know exactly how powerful they are. I'm practically drooling with envy. Like I said, getting stronger just by lying down, that's a real golden finger. What about the others? Anyway, it's just the two of us here, so tell me everything. We'll delete the messages later. No chat history will be left behind. Lishan Coiling Dragon, Rank 5. Alright, Teng Qingyun's golden finger is the longevity Dao fruit. Lu Ming's golden finger is talent replication. Lu Shanshan's is the heaven-sacrificing Dao talisman. Li Jing's golden finger lets her transform into a beautiful sailor warrior, destroy you in the name of the moon style. When she transforms, her combat strength increases tenfold across the board. You already know the others' golden fingers, so I won't waste any more breath. Yue Ming, Rank 2. Those are all excellent. Several rank in the top 1,000. The golden fingers in the top 1,000 are overwhelmingly strong. Take Teng Qingyun's longevity Dao fruit, endless lifespan. She could practice life-consuming demonic techniques without worry, and her cultivation realm would skyrocket. She wouldn't even need to rely much on regular cultivation resources. Lu Ming's talent replication can copy others' abilities. He could duplicate divine bodies, saint bodies, anything in the shrouding the heavens world. His path toward becoming an emperor would be almost effortless. With the chat group's help, his chance of immortal ascension in the mortal world would be very high. Liu Shanshen's heaven-sacrificing Dao talisman trades treasures for sacrifices to heaven, also very useful, even though it didn't crack the top 1,000. And Li Jing's transformation amplifies combat power tenfold, though that golden finger isn't even in the top 10,000. Li Shanhei, Coiling Dragon, Rank 5. Actually, someone like Liu Ming is already lucky. The heaven-controlling gourd he has is a bit weak, but at least he transmigrated into a cultivation world where it can help in the early stages. Someone like Invincible East is truly unlucky. He transmigrated into a low martial world, and his golden finger only lets him see other people's opportunities. It's extremely hard for him to rise, and even harder to surpass those in great worlds. Yue Ming agreed. Transmigrating into a great world was a huge advantage. Invincible East's situation was far harder. It wasn't impossible for him to improve, but compared to those who landed in higher-ranked worlds, his path was exponentially more difficult. Points in the chat group might seem trivial, but they're crucial early on. Worlds have rank limits. Even if you can buy cultivation techniques and resources from the chat group's mall, a low world rank makes it extremely difficult to earn points. In a world like the Smiling Proud Wanderer world, the world rank cap is low. Even if Invincible East harvested everything in that world and sold it all to the mall, how many points would that yield? He'd probably struggle to break into rank 3, or even rank 2. A slow start vitiates every step after. It would be nearly impossible for him to catch up. Invincible East's golden finger, seeing others' opportunities, isn't worthless. In some top great worlds, he might be able to snatch huge opportunities. But in the Smiling, Proud Wanderer world, it's almost useless. Could he steal Ling Huchong's 9 swords or the star-sucking great art? Those lower-ranked techniques are everywhere in the mall. In a novel-style chat group with cooperative administrators, someone like Invincible East might still pick up points with help. But in their chat group, red packets and transmigrations weren't allowed, and points couldn't be transferred directly. Even if someone wanted to help, there was no mechanism. His only real opening was when the chat group issued missions. Those let you transmigrate to other worlds and plunder resources in the mission world. The problem was missions only appeared once every 100 years. Li Shanhe, Coiling Dragon, rank 5. There are only a few people in our chat group who have the best chance of becoming an administrator. Besides me, there's you and Yue Ming. You both transmigrated to top great worlds and have powerful golden fingers, so your potential is much higher than most. Next would be Shanshan and Qingyun, though Shanshan's golden finger is weaker and Qingyun's world rank is a bit low. Even so, their chances are better than most. Work hard, cultivate, and strive to become a group administrator. The benefits will far exceed what you can imagine. Rank 2. I've been very diligent. In the years since I transmigrated to the Swallowed Star world, I've spent almost all of them in seclusion. As for becoming an administrator, I'll do my best. You, on the other hand, have the best chance. You're already rank 5. You're not far from rank 6 and becoming an administrator, right? There were 9 administrator positions in total. Whoever reached rank 6 first would be eligible. The chat group had only been created a bit over 300 years ago. Early joiners had the initiative, but that didn't guarantee anything. A latecomer might possess world-shaking luck, like Sectmaster Tongtian, who was born rank 7 upon transmigration, or they could obtain a top-tier golden finger and rapidly overtake the old members. Anything could happen. Yue Ming couldn't promise he'd become an administrator. He could only keep striving. Li Shanhe, however, truly had the best odds. He was rank 5, his golden finger was powerful, his world rank was high, and he had Grand Mist as a backer. Given enough time and support, breaking through to rank 6 seemed almost certain. Li Shan Coiling Dragon, rank 5. Breaking through to rank 6 isn't as simple as you think. To compare it to the Swallowed Star World's realms, it's like going from a universe lord to a chaos dominator. You don't get that level of advancement easily. Still, I'm fortunate to be a disciple of Teacher Grandmist. With his full support, I'm confident I can break through to rank 6 within 10,000 years. Yue Ming, Swallowed Star, rank 2. I envy those with a backer. I might soon enter the universe and leave Earth's novice village. There are still over 6 years until the peak genius battle. If things go well, I'll do well there, and might even become a disciple of a universe lord. Then I'll really take off. Chapter 32, Chu Long Star. Li Shan, rank 5. Then I'll congratulate you in advance for making it to the peak genius battle. I remember in the original Swallowed Star timeline, the strongest genius of that tournament was a guy named Bolin, right? He seemed to specialize in space origin law. You've only been cultivating for a short time. Do you really think you can beat him? Yue Ming, rank 2. I might not be his match now, but there are still more than 6 years, aren't there? You know my golden finger is a law fusion device. 6 years of cultivation is plenty for me to master the first layer of fusion law. Li Shanhe, rank 5. True, a law fusion device suits the fusion law path perfectly. Fusion law is extremely difficult for most people, but for you it's nearly one-button fusion. The device and the cultivation system of the Swallowed Star world are surprisingly compatible. Yue Ming, rank 2. I'm leaving Earth in a few days, so I need to prepare. Let's stop chatting for today. Also remember to delete the chat logs. I don't want anyone else to know what my golden finger is. If anyone asks you, don't reveal it. Li Shanhe, rank 5. You're too cautious. Even if others knew about your golden finger, they couldn't take it from you. But since you asked, I'll keep it strictly secret and won't tell anyone. After closing the chat group, Yue Ming returned to cultivating the primal saint body. 7 days passed in a flash, and his power output multiplier rose to 16-fold. At the same time, the rendezvous with Luo Feng arrived. Today they would leave Earth and enter the vast primordial universe. Brother Ming, are you ready? It's time to go. Wait for me at home. I'll come find you. When Luo Feng called by video, Yue Ming rushed to Bright Moon District to meet him. He arrived just as Luo Feng was saying goodbye to his family. Not wanting to intrude, and not being familiar with them, Yue Ming waited quietly outside. Mom, Dad, don't worry. There's nothing now that can threaten me. This seclusion is important and has strict environmental conditions, so I have to leave for a while. I'll be back in at most a month. Brother Ming, you've seen me at my worst. It's nothing. Let's go. In an instant, the two shot into the sky, rising tens of thousands of meters. Suspended above at that altitude was a huge black, disc-shaped spaceship. As they reached it, the hatch opened automatically, and they flew inside. The ship then shot through the atmosphere and out into Earth's space. Luofeng, the ship has left Earth. In the control room, Yue Ming and Luofeng stood before the main display. Babata's image appeared. He was piloting. As an intelligent life form, operating a spaceship was second nature to him. Babata, full exterior simulation. At Luofeng's command, the control room vanished, and the environment around them became the boundless starfield. If they hadn't felt the deck under their feet, they might have believed they were truly standing in open space. You didn't tell Brother Hong or Thunder God about this trip? I told Brother Hong and the others, but they chose to stay on Earth. Someone has to guard it. This mission is just reconnaissance. If there's another chance, I'll bring Brother Hong and the rest. 10 seconds to light speed. Babata's usually cheerful face turned serious as he counted down. The ship accelerated, blurring the stars outside. Planets vanished from view. The starfield streaked and then dimmed as they prepared to enter the dark universe. The only way for matter to traverse interuniversal distances was to break light speed. Universe traversal successful. Entered the dark universe. Babata, what is the dark universe? The universe we live in is the original universe. In the original universe, matter cannot break light speed. If you exceed light speed, you automatically traverse into the dark universe. The dark universe corresponds to the original universe in coordinates. Traveling 1 year at light speed here is equivalent to traversing about 10.08 million light years in the original universe. Babata gave them a brief explanation. How the dark universe formed was unknown. Neither he, an intelligent life form, nor even a universe lord could say. How do you get back to the original universe from the dark universe? Simple. Decelerate. Slow to a stop, and you'll automatically cross back. There's no stationary matter in the dark universe. We estimate 10 days to reach Chulong Star. You can rest or cultivate during the trip. The days in the dark universe were monotonous, but neither of them took actual rest. Luofeng practiced various secret techniques. Although he'd accepted the Yunmo planet lineage's legacy soul imprint, all those secret techniques were downgraded to entry level for him. Further improvement required slow personal cultivation. Yue Ming focused on the primal saint body, keeping his divine form hidden while Luofeng traveled made it inconvenient to use, so training secret techniques was the practical choice. On the 8th day, his power output rose again, reaching 17-fold. In 10 minutes, we'll arrive at Chulong Star. On the 9th day, Babata announced their approach. 10 minutes later, the ship began to decelerate until it came to a stop. Yue Ming felt only a faint vibration under his feet, a tremor that lasted maybe 10 seconds before everything settled. Universe traversal complete. Return to the original universe. Exterior simulation, 100%. The display changed back. Outside, the starfield returned, but the dominant site was a colossal planet with 2 moons orbiting it. Even the moons appeared hundreds of times larger than Earth. That immense world was Chulong Star. Babata, I've just realized, we're out of money. Luofeng remembered their earlier oversight. Earth currency meant nothing here. How could the Silver Blue Empire or the Black Dragon Mountain Empire accept it? You don't have any, but I do. Babata produced a handful of coins from a world ring. These are Qianwu coins, enough to cover docking fees. He explained the currency to Luofeng as they prepared to dock. We've arrived at Chulong Star. From the control room, they watched the ship descend toward the planet's atmosphere. Chulong Star's atmosphere was peculiar. Bands of colored gases flowed visibly, drifting and curling so that the planet gleamed from space, radiant and unlike anything they had seen before. Chapter 33. Virtual Universe. You currently have no registered nationality in the universe, the system intoned. The first thing we must do is apply for citizenship in the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. To avoid unnecessary trouble, you should adopt a false identity. Later, you will take the flowing silver guards and pose as descendants of an influential family. The guidance signal has been received. The spaceship will follow the signal and arrive at the planet's docking bay. Under Babada's control, the Black Dragon ship dove rapidly, pierced Chu Longstar's atmosphere, and touched down in a sprawling silver city. The docking bay was enormous, packed with countless ships. Following the guidance signal, the Black Dragon ship descended slowly and stopped at its assigned berth. "I've logged onto the planet's service portal," Babada reported. "The administrative building for the Black Dragon Mountain Empire on Chu Longstar is about 200 kilometers from here. We should apply for citizenship first. Without a nationality, you can't do anything." The hatch opened, and the three of them walked out beside the flowing silver guards. Luo Feng used a single Qianwu coin to bribe the docking bay administrator, and, guided by Babada, they quickly flew to Chulong City. At the administrative building, they successfully registered as citizens of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Yue Ming had briefly considered splitting up and applying for different nationalities to reduce the risk of Earth being exposed. But the Black Dragon Mountain Empire spanned over 10,000 galaxies. Given the ship's speed, leaving the Empire would take years, and a long journey invited accidents or pirate attacks in the Swallowed Star universe. Yue Ming could have bought a better ship from the chat group mall. He was astral rank, after all. But he didn't want to risk drawing attention by hauling out high-end craft. After weighing the options, he abandoned the idea. Besides, unless they opted out of the peak genius battle, Earth's exposure seemed inevitable. "Brother Ming, we're practically broke here on Chu Longstar. I'm thinking of selling the Arcblade disc. It's a third-tier psychic weapon and should fetch at least 10 billion Black Dragon coins. That'll cover our initial expenses," Luo Feng said. "Isn't that your weapon? What will you use if you sell it?" Yue Ming asked. "I've got a few things that should sell well. Keep your Arcblade disc. Babada, find a reputable shop. We're going to sell a few treasures. There's a Myriad Things pavilion ahead. It has excellent reviews online," Babada answered. In the original story, Luo Feng had used the sky-escaping shuttle, but Hong had already traded that shuttle to Yue Ming for Dragon Crystal Rice, and Yue Ming later sold it in the chat group mall. That left Luo Feng using the Arcblade disc. If he sold it, he'd be weaponless. Although Hu Yanbo had left Luo Feng a large inheritance, Luo Feng couldn't withdraw the funds until he broke through to astral rank. The other accounts required even higher ranks, universe rank and territory lord rank. Luo Feng was currently only planet level 7 stage, far from those breakthroughs. He did have other valuables: the Yunmo starship, the corpse of an undying expert, fragments of red mixed copper mother, but he, like Yue Ming, dared not display such powerful items while so weak. "First, we should open bank accounts, then go to the Myriad Things pavilion," Yue Ming said. He realized he didn't even have a bank account for receiving proceeds from any sales. The human race had two major banks, Universe Galaxy Bank and Universe First Bank. Yue Ming chose Universe Galaxy Bank mainly because Hu Yanbo had once been a client there, and Babada was familiar with it. On the way to the bank, Babada lectured them on the 5 great forces of the human race. Yue Ming and Luo Feng listened closely. Although Yue Ming had read the novel and understood the basics, Babada's explanations filled in many details the book had skimmed over. After opening accounts at the Universe Galaxy Bank, they went to the Virtual Universe Corporation to buy virtual network consciousness induction helmets and to activate their virtual universe accounts. Fortunately, the helmets didn't cost much. The annual network fee was only 10 Black Dragon coins, and 1 Qianwu coin covered 100 years. The 900-plus Qianwu coins Babada had given Luo Feng were more than enough. After an hour of errands, they arrived at the Myriad Things pavilion. Yue Ming had spent 500 million points in the chat group mall to buy 3 second-tier treasures. After bargaining, he resold them for 60 billion Qianwu coins. As soon as the money was credited, Yue Ming transferred 10 billion Qianwu coins to Luo Feng's account. "Brother Ming, this is too much," Luo Feng protested. "Take it," Yue Ming said. "Don't be polite. I'm not going back to Earth for now. I plan to stay on Chu Longstar for a while." With only 6 years until the peak genius battle, Yue Ming intended to go into seclusion on Chulong Star. He expected Earth's exposure would attract the human race's top attention, and even with a space-time interferer, he felt safer staying off-planet. Since you've decided, I won't try to change your mind. Take care of yourself while you're here, Luofeng said. I will. Contact me through the virtual universe if anything happens. After their farewell, Yue Ming looked for a residence and spent over 10 billion black dragon coins to buy a manor on the outskirts of Chulong City. He also bought an intelligent assistant. Compared to the optical computer Babata had given him, this assistant was far more advanced, capable of independent thought and emotion. It looked like a giant panda, so Yue Ming named it Bei. He intentionally avoided buying fully sentient life forms from the chat group mall. He feared that when the origin ancestor checked the virtual universe, it might detect an anomaly. Even if the chance was small, he wasn't willing to take it. The swallowed star universe already had such items. There was no reason to risk exposure. Bei, log into the virtual network. Yes, master. Yue Ming let his consciousness sink into the induction helmet. In the next instant, he stood in an ancient city. Is this the virtual universe? He wondered. He glanced at himself. He wore simple gray clothes, and perched on his shoulder was a fist-sized elf that looked like a miniature giant panda, Bei, in a green uniform, impossibly cute. Master, this is Black Dragon Mountain Island, Bei said. Everyone who logs into the virtual universe within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire's territory appears here. Yue Ming nodded and looked around. The pedestrians were bizarrely diverse, some blue-skinned, some with 4 arms. Every variety of strange form moved along the streets. Chapter 34, Slaughter Space. Bei, enter the slaughter arena. A blur, and the surroundings shifted. In an instant, Yue Ming found himself inside a vast hall, as large as a city. The slaughter arena was one of the virtual universe's more interesting systems. For combat practice, you could use either the slaughter space or the decisive battle space. The difference was simple. Slaughter space cost more, but you could set your opponents, essentially hiring trainers tailored to your needs. You could, for example, match against an opponent with the same cultivation and law realms as you, but with far greater combat experience and mastery of domain and law. By repeatedly fighting such an opponent, you could learn from their strengths and rapidly improve your own use of domain and law. The catch was the cost. Entering the slaughter space was expensive. Yue Ming, currently astral rank stage 4, paid 4,000 Qianwu coins per day to train there. The decisive battle space was far cheaper, less than a tenth of that, but you couldn't set the opponent. You could only duel another real-world martial artist in the virtual universe. Enter the slaughter space. Set opponent. Cultivation realm astral rank stage 4, comprehends water and space origin law. Yue Ming set an opponent with the exact same cultivation and law realms as himself. He was immediately transported to a desert, where a black-clad figure stood waiting. Kill! They clashed instantly. In 3 sword strikes, Yue Ming was dead. The gap was too great, especially in the application of domain and law. They weren't even on the same level. Again, Yue Ming revived and reappeared in the desert, meeting the black-clad figure again. The fight lasted only a brief exchange before he was cut down by the same 3 strikes, utterly unable to resist. You're tough. Again. He wasn't discouraged. Each clash and each death fed experience into him. His application of domain and law improved rapidly. Half a month passed in a flash. He had been killed tens of thousands of times. From being wiped out in 3 strikes at the start, he reached the point where he could finally hold his ground against the black-clad figure's sword. The water-sky one-line techniques. I can use them freely now. My attack power has increased massively. 7-layered space has reached the 2nd layer. I can conjure 10 illusions. Even Primal Saint Body has advanced, and my power output multiplier is up to 25x. The slaughter space's consumption was steep, but the results were undeniable. Yue Ming's law realm hadn't advanced, but his practical application of law had progressed by leaps and bounds. If his current self fought the version from half a month earlier, he could now kill him in 3 sword strikes, proof of how much he'd improved in so short a time. That's enough for now. He could have stayed and trained until he finally defeated the black-clad figure, but he didn't intend to. It wasn't about the money. He had 50 billion Qianwu coins, and the slaughter space fees were nothing to him. The real reason was seclusion. He wanted to cultivate the water element godhead and raise his water origin law comprehension quickly. Bebe, I'm going into seclusion. If anyone contacts me, please reply and say I am in seclusion. Yes, master. Yue Ming withdrew into the small world space-time interferer. This time he intended to focus on the water element godhead, aiming to push his water origin law comprehension to 15% in one go. With the godhead's blessing and the enlightenment cushion aiding him, his comprehension rose fast. In less than half a year, it reached 11%. It seems I need to replace the water element godhead. At 11%, he noticed the godhead's effects weakening. Laws differ between worlds. Even if both are water law, only part of the laws are identical. The godhead he was using matched the swallowed star world's water origin law by only about 40%. The remaining 60% were different. He sold the godhead back to the chat group mall. Sell water element godhead. Congratulations, you have gained 24 billion points. He had bought it for 30 billion points and lost 6 billion on the resale. He used the search function, bought another water element godhead for 29 billion, and began again. This new godhead matched the swallowed star world by only 37%, and of that 37%, 32% overlapped with the previous godhead, meaning only 5% of the laws were truly useful. As soon as his water comprehension neared 13%, the new godhead's effect faded. He had to replace it again. Each swap cost several billion points. After more than a year in seclusion and 6 replacements, he finally reached 15% water origin law comprehension, the minimum needed to cultivate the first layer of the water space fusion law. During this time, his cultivation realm advanced as well. He broke through to astral rank stage 6. Status: rank, astral rank stage 6, stage 2, realm, water origin, law 15%, space origin law 5%. Genes, 100 TEMS, power output, 25 VEGs, secret techniques, water sky 1 line, 7 layered space, primal saint body, part 1. I'll come out of seclusion to rest for a while, then go back to the slaughter space to spar and get used to applying my newly expanded law comprehension. I don't need to kill opponents right now. At minimum, I must be able to hold an unbeaten stance. There were still over 4 years before the peak genius battle. That was plenty of time to raise his space origin law to 15% and master the first layer of the water space fusion law. But improving law comprehension alone wasn't enough. Practical combat experience mattered. If, in the genius battle, he faced an opponent of equal rank and was instantly killed, it would be a disaster. Yue Ming didn't pursue fighting above his rank recklessly. He only demanded that his combat skill and realm be at least on par with his peers. Chapter 35. 4 People Gather. Master, while you were in retreat, your friend Lunatic sent you 3 messages. Bebe has already replied to all of them, saying you are at a critical point in your retreat. 2 other users, Killer and Thunder God, have requested to add you as friends. Accept? Accept. Lunatic was, of course, Luo Feng, the online handle he'd given himself. Killer was Hong, who had been an assassin before the Great Nirvana period. Thunder God still used his title as a name. Send each of them a message. Tell them I've come out of retreat and to contact me when they're online. Bebe understands. Yue Ming skimmed the 3 messages. Luo Feng's note mentioned the golden horned beast appearing on Earth, but that problem had already been handled by them. Yue Ming only didn't know whether Luo Feng had taken possession of the beast, as in the original tale. He wasn't surprised they could deal with a juvenile golden horned beast. Hong and Thunder God had both broken through to the astral rank, and Luo Feng had bought many slaves on Chu Long Star. Suppressing such a creature would be easy. The other messages introduced Hong and Thunder God and asked Yue Ming to accept their friend requests and asked him to reply after he came out of retreat so they could arrange a meeting in the virtual universe. Bebe, log me into the virtual universe. Yue Ming entered the virtual universe and chose the slaughter space. Since his cultivation realm had advanced to astral rank level 6, his expenses in the slaughter space had risen to 6,000 Qianwu coins per day. This battleground was a desolate planet rather than a desert now. When Yue Ming set his opponent's parameters, He matched their cultivation realm, law realm, and secret techniques to his own. Kill! They clashed instantly. At first, Yue Ming fell behind. Under the fierce pressure of the man in black sword, he could only struggle for 10 seconds before being decapitated. Time blurred. More than 10 days passed in a flash. After being killed thousands of times by the man in black, Yue Ming's combat experience improved dramatically. His water-sky one-line secret techniques leapt forward. He practiced and refined their use until he could stand undefeated against the black-clad swordsman. There was a reason the improvement came so fast. Most practitioners used secret techniques to help understand the origin law, letting breakthroughs in technique drive their law comprehension. Yue Ming's path had been the reverse. His progress in comprehending law far outpaced his secret techniques, giving him a higher-level perspective that accelerated how quickly he could improve those techniques. Exertion rank has reached 30-fold, the system announced. By setting his opponent to cultivate the primal saint body as well, and by studying their methods, Yue Ming pushed his exertion rank to 30 in just over 10 days, a very respectable level among astral rank martial artists. Master, your friend Lunatic is online, Bebe prompted. Luo Feng's online? Yue Ming checked his friend list. Luo Feng, Hong, and Thunder God were all online. He exited the slaughter space and used the teleport function to go to the coordinates Luo Feng had sent. In the virtual universe, things impossible in reality were commonplace. Remote chats, paid teleportation, and instant meetings. Brother Ming, you're too diligent, Luo Feng greeted. Every time you go into retreat, it's at least a year. I thought I worked hard, but compared to you, I'm lazy. I need to push myself. I told you, Yue Ming is obsessed with cultivation. Back on Earth, he was in retreat almost permanently, only taking a few days off each year. Yue Ming, why don't we spar in the decisive battle space? You can't stay in retreat forever. Combat is cultivation, too. I've improved a lot in the last 2 years. It won't be so easy to suppress me again. Thunder God sounded eager. Back on Earth, Yue Ming had used his domain to suppress Thunder God and left a lasting sting. Thunder God still wanted to avenge that shame. So confident? Yue Ming asked. Ha ha ha, mainly thanks to Luo Feng. He brought back a lot of consciousness induction helmets and opened up the virtual universe to us. There are great places here, the slaughter space, the decisive battle space. I've advanced fast in the virtual universe. My domain has broken through to the 5th level. If you want to spar me, Yue Ming said casually, don't say I didn't give you a chance. But you must at least step into the threshold of origin law, or you won't even survive a single sword strike. What? You comprehended origin law? The three friends widened their eyes. They all knew how difficult it was to comprehend origin law. Men at astral rank who reached that threshold were considered universe-class geniuses. They hadn't truly understood Yue Ming's strength before. Aside from that time he'd used his domain to suppress Thunder God, they'd never seen him make a serious move. None of them expected he'd already reached origin law. How did you get so strong so fast? Luo Feng asked. Besides being in retreat, I've been spending most of my time in the slaughter space. How could I not improve quickly? That space costs too much, Hong complained. It's great occasionally, but you can't spend every day there. We don't have that kind of money. If you need money, say so. I can lend you some. I don't need it, Luo Feng said, shaking his head. He had already broken through to the astral rank and received the first account his teacher Hu Yanbo left him, 10 billion Qianwu coins. Since Luo Feng doesn't need money, I'll transfer 10 billion Qianwu coins each to you too, Yue Ming said lightly. If you become rich, repay me double. He didn't mean it as a formal loan. 20 billion Qianwu coins was nothing to him. He still had more than 29 billion left. With only a little over 4 years until the peak genius battle, and even after spending every day in the slaughter space, he wouldn't exhaust it. Once he entered the Virtual Universe Corporation, that sum would be trivial. Thank you, Hong said simply. He wasn't one for many words, but he kept the favor in his heart. Have you heard of the peak genius battle? Yue Ming asked, changing the subject. The battle wasn't secret. There was plenty of information in the virtual universe, but because it happened only once every 5,000 years, many had forgotten about it. Lifespans were short for most beings. Even planetary-level cultivators lived only about 1,000 years. For many lower-ranked practitioners, the peak genius battle was a legend rather than an imminent goal. Chapter 36. Seeking Defeat. Regarding the peak genius battle, you can search for it in the virtual universe, or you can call Babata. He knows a lot about it. Babata, stop gaming for a minute. Come out and tell us what the peak genius battle is. When Yue Ming said that, Luo Feng immediately called out to Babata. Searching online could turn up misinformation. Asking Babata directly was a far better option. Peak genius battle? Why are you asking about that? If you calculate the timing carefully, the next one should be held soon, maybe within a few years. It's a rare opportunity, Babata said. Luo Feng, you have to sign up. I don't expect you to reach the universe-wide top 1,000, but if you can get into the top 1,000 of the Qianwu universe country, that's enough. That would give you a shot at cultivating in the Qianwu secret realm. Babata's explanation made their eyes light up. They finally understood what the peak genius battle meant. A once-in-5,000 years event, alternately hosted by the Virtual Universe Corporation and the Great Axe Battleground. Since the last one had been by the Great Axe Battleground, the Virtual Universe Corporation would host the next. A good ranking meant lavish rewards, a chance to become a core member of the Virtual Universe Corporation, and powerful cultivation opportunities. The Virtual Universe Corporation, organized by all universe countries, with billions of astral-ranked geniuses competing, and only the top 1,000 ultimately decided. Haha! Fighting billions of geniuses across the universe? Just thinking about it gets my blood boiling. A grand event every 5,000 years. We can't miss it. This is our chance to soar. The three of them exchanged looks, battle intent burned in their eyes. But Babata poured cold water on their excitement. I'm not trying to discourage you, but don't aim for the universe-wide top 1,000. That's almost impossible. Even cracking the top 1,000 in just the Qianwu universe country would be impressive. Your talents are actually very good, genuinely genius level in the universe, but you've cultivated for too short a time. Others have centuries, even millennia of cultivation. You've only had decades. They have famous teachers, apprenticeships under undying beings, while you have nothing. Babata's words were harsh but realistic. For a moment, the three fell silent. Compared with the universe's geniuses, they did lack in many ways. Still, Babata added, there's a chance. We've got a few years before the peak genius battle. If you can reach the threshold of an origin law within that time, you could still make the finals top 1,000. In the original timeline, only Luo Feng reached the finals top 1,000 and entered the Virtual Universe Corporation. Hong and Thunder God failed. Now, thanks to the changes since Babata appeared, Hong and Thunder God were much stronger. Thunder God was already at domain level 5, and Hong had broken through to domain level 6. They might manage to perceive and then comprehend an origin law before the battle. Comprehending an origin law is extremely difficult, Babata continued. You're not as exceptional as Yue Ming, but Luo Feng has a good chance. He already is annulling, possessed a golden horned beast. Those beasts are favorites of the gold law, so grasping the gold origin law shouldn't be too hard for him. Hong had made great progress, but had no confidence about comprehending an origin law. He hadn't even sensed any origin law fluctuations yet. That was normal. Usually one only begins to feel the origin law when breaking through to domain level 7 or higher. Only after sensing its fluctuations can one truly attempt to comprehend it. What? You mean Yue Ming has already comprehended an origin law? Babata blurted, astonished. He'd been gaming and missed their earlier exchange. Now he realized Yue Ming had in fact comprehended an origin law. He glanced at Yue Ming, then at Luo Feng, then looked utterly dejected. Hey, Babata, what's with that look? Luo Feng felt a sting. Was Babata starting to dislike him? Yue Ming smiled. Let's go to the decisive battle space now. Let you all see what a law genius can do. All right. This time Yue Ming didn't refuse. If they wanted to experience it, he would show them the terror of a law genius and give them a preview of the opponents they'd face in the peak genius battle. This is your first time in the decisive battle space. Pick a title for yourself. Then call it Seeking Defeat. Bold name. Aren't you afraid you'll get beaten to death? In this universe, Not many astral rank fighters can take one of my sword strikes, and even fewer can beat me. All right, you're amazing, Babata laughed. After entering the decisive battle space, they appeared in an arena. Thunder God sent a challenge. Yue Ming accepted. The two figures materialized in the arena's center. 521 wins, 32 losses, 5-star rating. Yue Ming read Thunder God's data. The decisive battle space rated combatants from 1 to 9 stars. The 9-star fighters were top experts of their rank. Yue Ming, take my strongest move. Thunder God knew Yue Ming had comprehended an origin law and realized he wasn't a match. He unleashed his best attack. Yue Ming said nothing. He drew his sword. A blinding streak of light flashed, and then nothing remained. One sword stroke ended Thunder God. The gap was simply too large. Even at domain level 5, let alone anyone who had only just reached the threshold of the lightning origin law, Thunder God couldn't withstand that single strike. My turn. Seeing Thunder God fall to a single sword, Hong's fighting spirit surged. But the result was the same. A single sword, and Hong was gone. Let me try. Finally, it was Luo Feng's turn. Once again, Yue Ming finished the duel with a single stroke. The gap between you and Yue Ming is just too great, Babata observed. His sight was sharp. He could tell Yue Ming hadn't used even a fraction of his strength in those fights. The casual sword strikes that had killed the three were likely less than a tenth of Yue Ming's true power. Chapter 37. First Layer of the Fusion Law. Are all geniuses who comprehend origin laws this terrifying? I couldn't even block a single sword strike. I don't even know how I died. The gap is just enormous. They left the decisive battle space and returned to the slaughter space hall. A few of them sat together, still stunned by the sight of Yue Ming's blade killing in an instant. Thunder God couldn't help but exclaim, "Brother Ming, you weren't using your full strength just now, were you? Can you at least tell us roughly how much you used? That way we'd have a baseline and know how far behind we are from a genius who comprehends origin laws." Luo Feng, having heard from Babata that Yue Ming had indeed held back, perhaps using not even 10% of his power, felt both disheartened and curious about Yue Ming's true strength. "I didn't use my full strength," Yue Ming admitted. "But you don't need to pry into the exact figure. What you need to know is that what I showed just now is roughly equivalent to a genius who has reached the threshold of an origin law. If you want a good ranking in the peak genius battle, even to make the top 1,000 in the finals, you don't necessarily need to beat me at my full power. You must at least be comparable to that level. In the peak genius battle, countless geniuses would possess domains, and even those with 9-layered domains would struggle to break into the final's top 1,000. To reach that stage, you have to at least step onto the threshold of an origin law. And even then, bad luck could still get you eliminated. You said what you showed us was only equivalent to someone on the threshold of an origin law? Hong, who had earned a 6-star rating in the decisive battle space, said ruefully. I thought 6 stars made me a universe-level genius. Turns out I was just a frog in a well. The 6-star players in the decisive battle space had assumed they were among the elite, but the gulf between them and true geniuses was vast. Right now, the decisive battle space doesn't have many real heavy hitters, Yue Ming continued. The true geniuses are all in seclusion, preparing for the peak genius battle. Don't waste your time there. Use the time to cultivate in seclusion and try to comprehend an origin law before the tournament. Those who had scored 9 stars in the decisive battle space were undeniably strong. Many had domains, several with 8 layers, some with 9, making them invincible in ordinary peer fights. But facing geniuses who comprehended origin laws, no matter how many domain layers you had, proved useless. The true geniuses were simply hiding away until the peak genius battle approached. Only when they emerged would the decisive battle space become truly interesting. For now, it was a classic case of when the tiger's away, the monkey plays king. That was why Yue Ming urged Luo Feng and the others to focus on seclusion. If they encountered obstacles in cultivation, they could always spend money to enter the slaughter space. Everyone had plenty of points now. We should concentrate on comprehending an origin law, one of them said. Once I log off, I'm going into seclusion. I won't come out until I comprehend an origin law. Since everyone's going into seclusion, I can't fall behind. After half an hour of talk, they logged off. Excitement and urgency filled the room. Nobody wanted to waste time on idle chat. Each planned to go into seclusion and strive to grasp an origin law before the peak genius battle and make a name for themselves. After exiting the virtual universe, Yue Ming began his own seclusion. This time, he planned to work on a space element godhead, raise his understanding of the space origin law to 15%, and then cultivate the first layer of the water-space fusion law. My space origin law progress is only at 10%, and this godhead's no longer effective? Time to replace it. He sold the old godhead. Sell godhead. The system answered, "Congratulations, you have received 32 billion points." When he originally bought that space godhead, he'd spent 40 billion points, so selling it back for 32 billion cost him an 8 billion loss. He used the chat group mall's search to find a new space godhead. Dozens were on sale, from different worlds. The problem was you couldn't tell beforehand how similar the law inside a godhead would be to the space law of the swallowed star world. Buying a godhead was like opening a blind box. Sometimes you got a close match, sometimes you wasted your points. After a succession of purchases and replacements, 8 godheads over 2 years, Yue Ming finally nudged his space origin law comprehension up to 15%. The Golden Finger Law Fusion device is finally going to earn its keep, he thought. Over the past 2 years, besides studying space origin law, Yue Ming had also raised his cultivation to astral rank level 9. He could have broken through to the universe rank, but to remain eligible for the peak genius battle, he suppressed his cultivation level. Fuse water and space origin laws. Ding! Fusion successful. He activated the Law Fusion device, the first time he'd used the Golden Finger, and as water and space intertwined, an avalanche of fusion law insights flooded his mind. Rank, astral rank level 9, tier 3, cultivation progress, origin law 15%, space origin law 15%, water space fusion law 15%. First layer, gene 100 times power exertion, 30 times, secret techniques, water sky 1 line, 7-layered space, primal saint body, upper volume. Yue Ming opened his attribute panel and saw his chat group evaluation had risen from tier 2 to tier 3. Completing the first layer of the water space fusion law had pushed his combat power to meet tier 3 standards. He might be on the weaker side of tier 3, but he was tier 3 nonetheless. The chat group judged rank by combat or destructive power rather than by cultivation level. With the first layer of fusion law complete, ordinary universe rank cultivators were no longer his opponents. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that killing universe rank fighters would be like slaughtering chickens. His combat power had at least reached the territory lord rank. Exactly where he stood within that rank, he did not yet know. He had never faced a true territory lord before. Chapter 38, Return to Earth. Although I've already cultivated the first layer of the water space fusion law, it's a pity I don't have a weapon that fits me perfectly. And I lack offensive secret techniques for the fusion law. Otherwise, I could raise my strength by several more levels. In the swallowed star world, a martial artist's combat power depends on many things: cultivation realm, comprehension of the laws, genetic multiplier, a weapon that suits them, matching secret techniques, the strength of their soul and will, and so on. Broadly speaking, it could be summed up as body, genes, cultivation, soul, will, spirit, law, comprehension, techniques, and weapons, attack, defense, mobility. For the body, Yue Ming had a 100x genetic level and was at astral rank, 9th stage peak. Among astral rank practitioners, excluding special life forms, he had never heard of anyone with a 100x gene at that level. For the laws, his comprehension was off the charts. Both the water and space origin laws were at 15% comprehension, and he had already cultivated the first layer of the water-space fusion law. His third-tier combat power came mainly from that extraordinary law comprehension, but the weakness was clear. Without offensive secret techniques tailored to the fusion law, he couldn't truly unleash its full might. As for the soul, Yue Ming had nothing remarkable. No soul attack techniques, no soul defense techniques. His will was about average for someone at his realm, perhaps a bit stronger, but not dramatically so. And weapons, he was sorely lacking. His current armament was a top-tier third-grade Origin Force weapon he'd bought at the Myriad Things Pavilion on Chulong Star for over 300 billion Black Dragon coins. In short, he was presentable in body and law, but weak in soul and weapons, which held him back. There were peerless divine weapons in the chat group mall, some comparable to supreme treasures, countless items, but different worlds had different cultivation systems. Even if he bought those divine weapons, he might not be able to unleash their true power. Worse, since he planned to enter the peak genius battle and would eventually join the Virtual Universe Corporation, he couldn't risk pulling out exotic treasures from other worlds under the primordial Chaos City Lord's nose. It would be asking for trouble. The same went for cultivation techniques. Laws differ between worlds, and techniques born from other systems rarely fit perfectly with the Swallowed Star world. Still, the chat group mall was invaluable for artifact refining materials and reference techniques. He could buy them for inspiration, even if he wouldn't cultivate them directly. Stones from other mountains can polish your own jade, he thought. But his cultivation was still too low to make use of them now. Trying to run before he could walk would only invite ridicule. "It's a pity I don't know any artifact refiners," he muttered. "If I did, I could have had a sword forged that matches the water-space fusion law before the peak genius battle." He'd found many rare materials in the mall, more than 10,000 varieties containing traces of water-space laws, ideal for refining fusion law weapons. But without backing, he wouldn't dare to draw out overly precious material. For now, prudence demanded he forget about refining weapons. Even without the perfect blade, the fusion law's power was enough to carry him through the peak genius battle. Once he joined the Virtual Universe Corporation, these obstacles would be far easier to overcome. With the first layer of the fusion law settled, his next priorities were clear. He had to cultivate the 7-layered space secret art to at least the 4th layer. The 4th layer could conjure thousands of spatial illusions, the same level Bolin displayed in the original Peak Genius battle, equivalent to the 100-line stream in the myriad line stream techniques. He also needed to cultivate the primal saint body and raise his power exertion multiplier. His current 30x power exertion rank was too low. He aimed for at least 50x before the battle. And finally, he had to become thoroughly familiar with the water space fusion law. As his trump card, he needed to wield it proficiently, even without dedicated offensive secret techniques. "Master, your friends Madman, Killer, and Thunder God each sent you an email a year ago." The 3 emails all said the same thing. Universe adventurers had discovered Earth. Before those invaders could do any real damage, Madman, Killer, and Thunder God had joined forces to fend them off. From the invaders, they learned the force behind them, the Nolan Mountain family. The adventurers were only vanguards. An entire fleet from the Nolan Mountain family was still to follow. Yue Ming knew the name. Nolan Mountain was no weak opponent. The clan chief, Nolan Mountain, was a universe-ranked 9-stage powerhouse and a holder of the Great Axe Warrior title. He was exceptionally strong among 9-stage universe-rank individuals. Besides Nolan Mountain himself, the family had 6 other universe-rank members. That was more than enough to overwhelm Earth's defenses. In the original story, Luo Feng had poured enormous effort into dealing with the Nolan Mountain family. Now things were different. Luo Feng and the others were all in seclusion, comprehending the origin law, rarely visiting the decisive battle space, and thus never getting to know the higher-ups at the Virtual Universe Corporation's Black Dragon Mountain branch. That meant the responsibility of handling the Nolan Mountain family fell to Yue Ming. He decided at once to reply to Luo Feng and the others. He would return to Earth immediately. Since he didn't own a universe-grade spaceship, Yue Ming spent over 100 billion Black Dragon coins to buy one and had Bebe pilot them straight back to Earth. He already had Earth's coordinates from Babada. To be safe on the trip, he logged into the chat group and began searching the mall for one-time treasures with enough destructive power to kill a world lord. He was confident he could take Nolan Mountain, and that even if every universe-rank member of the Nolan Mountain family attacked him, he wouldn't back down. But caution was never a bad thing. Nothing was more important than his life. Chapter 39, Heavenly Tribulation Lightning Orb. The Heavenly Tribulation Lightning Orb originated in the Kanglen cultivation world. It contained the violent power of heavenly tribulation and was an unparalleled secret treasure refined by sword immortal Li Chengqiu, sect master of the Pure Yang sect, during his own tribulation period. He used the immortal artifact devouring heaven gourd to swallow the nine heavens' tribulation, and then, by a special method, refined a portion of that power into this orb. Yue Ming had searched them all for a long time before finally finding a treasure that fit his needs. Once detonated, the orb could unleash terrifying tribulation power. He didn't know if it could fell a world lord rank, but it should be more than enough to instantly kill a territory lord. Purchase the Heavenly Tribulation Lightning Orb, he thought. 500 trillion points deducted. The orb was a green sphere about the size of a fist. It was a third-order item, but perhaps because it was a one-time secret treasure, its price wasn't astronomical. After buying it, Yue Ming also obtained the method for refining it. The instructions said refining required divine sense, a power cultivators possessed. Yue Ming, as a martial artist, didn't have divine sense, but divine sense was essentially a form of mental energy, and that he did have. He simply couldn't manipulate objects like a psychic master could. The difference was largely one of emphasis. Psychic masters primarily cultivate mental energy, while others may only have it as a secondary ability. Yue Ming tried to mobilize his mental energy and followed the refinement method in his mind. To his relief, his mental energy was effective. It took him about 2 hours to completely refine the orb. After that, all it required was a thought to detonate it. "I hope Nolan Mountain will like this gift I've prepared," he murmured. He stored the orb in his space-time jammer pocket realm. His purchased universe ship wasn't great. It would take 7 or 8 days to return to Earth. With time to kill, Yue Ming opened the chat group and realized he hadn't logged in for over 2 years. Yue Ming, Third Order. What happened? Li Shanhe isn't online? This is a rare thing, the first time since the group was created. Has the coiling dragon world been destroyed? Li Shanhe's absence surprised Yue Ming. He'd been in the chat group for 7 or 8 years, and Li Shanhe had almost always been online, practically the group's busiest member. This was the first time Yue Ming had seen him offline. Still, many other members were online. Lu Ming from A Record of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality world, Li Jing from the Global Martial Arts world, and Invincible East from the smiling, proud Wanderer world. Yue Ming paused at the name Invincible East. The group used members' real pre-transmigration names, so why was this one different? Could someone actually have been named Invincible East before transmigrating? It didn't make sense. A Record of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality. Lu Ming, Second Order. Brother Li and the others aren't online because they went with the cult master to attend the Myriad Heavens Mall Alliance auction. Didn't Brother Li mention that auction a few years ago? You didn't forget, did you? Third Order. He did mention it. I didn't forget. Too bad my strength's too low. Otherwise, I'd love to attend that event. Just to broaden my horizons, maybe meet some legendary figures. Hasn't Yue Ming already broken through to Third Order? How long have you been in the chat group? I didn't expect him to catch up to me so quickly. It's great to be able to transmigrate to a great world. A Record of a Mortal's Journey to Immortality. Lu Ming, Second Order. Seeing Yue Ming break through to Third Order makes me both envious and sad. I watched him catch up, and now he's past me. It'll probably take me ages to break through to Third Order. Everyone knows the situation in the mortal world. Before I'm fully ready, I wouldn't dare sneak into the spirit realm. Invincible East, First Order. I envy the big shots who transmigrated to great worlds. Compared to them, I'm the most miserable. I transmigrated to a low martial world and am completely restricted by the world. It's hard to break through to Second Order. I don't know when I'll make a name for myself. Can any big shot help me? At Blackwood Cliff, headquarters of the Sun Moon Divine Cult in the smiling, proud Wanderer world, Invincible East scowled with jealousy. Why was he the only one in the group who had transmigrated to a low martial world? The others were, at worst, in high martial worlds. Because of his world's restrictions, breaking through was difficult. Fate was unfair. Since transmigration, with help from the chat group, Invincible East had first unified the Jianghu Martial Forest and then used the power of several sects to gather resources from across the land. Even so, the points he'd accumulated were nowhere near enough to buy second-order treasures. Second-order items in the chat group mall often cost hundreds of millions of points. Even the cheapest second-order cultivation techniques were out of reach. Without them, breakthrough to second order was almost impossible. If his golden finger had been the kind that directly enhanced power, he might not be stuck in a low martial world, but his golden finger only let him see others' opportunities. Useless here. Li Jing, third order. It's not that we don't want to help, but we really can't. The chat group can't send red packets. Your best bet is to wait for the chat group to release a mission. If we meet offline, we might be able to help you then. A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Looming, second order, participating in the Myriad Heavens Mall Alliance auction is actually your opportunity. You can meet other members. If they take a liking to you, they might casually give you a few treasures, enough for an early rise. It's a pity you joined the group too late. The spots were already decided. The smiling, proud wanderer, Invincible East, first order. So it seems I can only wait for a chat group mission. I hope all the big shots can help me then. But the interval between missions is really long. Does anyone remember when the last mission was? Invincible East lowered his tone, trying to flatter the big names in the group. He knew that no matter how much he complained privately, he'd need their help to rise early on. Relying on himself alone would take an unknown amount of time and might never catch the others. So he played the role of the humble newbie, and he intended to keep it up. They're all showing off their acting skills. Yue Ming couldn't help but shake his head as he scrolled through the chat. Ever since Invincible East posted, he had been unusually quiet, watching the performance like a newcomer, except he wasn't a newcomer. All of them were transmigrators. Everyone knew most others' tricks. Invincible East's little scheme was obvious to Yue Ming at a glance, and Li Jing and Liu Ming had probably seen straight through it long ago. Yet none of them exposed him. They all went along with his act in the group. That pleasant, helpful tone from Li Jing and Liu Ming, don't be fooled. Invincible East has been in the group for years. He already knows what they're saying. If they were truly asked to help him, they might refuse. Strictly speaking, because of the administrator positions, everyone in the chat group was a competitor. There were only 9 group administrator slots. One fewer opportunity for someone else meant one more slot for you. Most of them joined early, so their chances were decent. Would Yue Ming lend a hand to a competitor? No. Kicking someone when they're down was one thing. Helping them was unthinkable, unless Li Jing and Liu Ming had no interest in the administrator posts, which was unlikely. And as for Li Shanhe supposedly being the only one who knew about the administrator rule, Yue Ming didn't buy it. He and Li Shanhe had become familiar simply because they crossed paths online often, but that didn't mean Li Shanhe had confided in him alone. Over time, secrets like that tended to spread in the chat group anyway. If you were low-ranked, you might not know. Once you had origin points and reached higher ranks, more of the group's hidden mechanics revealed themselves. It wasn't impossible that the administrator eligibility secret would surface automatically at a certain breakthrough level. Li Shanhe might have mentioned it early, either because he expected everyone would soon learn it anyway, or because he felt secure enough in his prospects that revealing it wouldn't hurt him. He was very close to breaking through to rank 6. These were Yue Ming's speculations. Whether true or not, he kept his guard up. In this world, he thought, the only person you could truly trust was yourself. Li Jing rank 3. The last time the chat group issued a mission was about 80 years ago. If nothing unexpected happens, the chat group should issue another mission within 100 years. A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Ling, rank 2. Don't be so sure. The chat group's missions are random. There's almost no pattern. It could be sooner or much later. Invincible East's face darkened when he read their comments. In his world, the world of the smiling, proud wanderer, time flowed differently. The chat group's passage of decades might equate to centuries or a millennium there. Unless he stayed online constantly, Decades in the group could mean he would age to death in his own world. He'd bought every lifespan extending item he could afford from the chat group mall, but at his current rank, he couldn't access the pricier more effective treasures. Most of the rank 1 lifespan items either only worked the first time or had sharply diminishing returns on repeat use. His remaining lifespan was only about 650 years. If he couldn't break through to rank 2 within that time, he might be the first member of chat group number 98 to die of old age. The thought made him even more anxious. Yue Ming, rank 3. I'm curious, could you tell us why your chat group name is Invincible East? Was that already your name before you transmigrated? The smiling, proud wanderer, Invincible East, First Order. You might not believe it, but it really was my name before transmigration. It wasn't a nickname, it's on my ID. I got teased a lot as a kid. A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Yue Ming, rank 2. Ha ha ha, so you were destined to be Invincible East. Maybe your parents were wuxia fans. Invincible East, First Order. If it weren't for the limb rebirth treasures in the chat group mall, I would have killed myself after transmigrating as an eunuch. Yue Ming, rank 3. Do we know when Li Shanhei and the others will be back? A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Yue Ming, rank 2. You're going to be waiting a long time. The auction will probably last decades. Li Jing. I wanted Li Shanhei and the others to take pictures and post live commentary of the auction, but the Myriad Heavens Mall Alliance headquarters is weirdly strict. They can actually block chat group communications. A record of a mortal's journey to immortality. Yue Ming, rank 2. The Myriad Heavens Mall Alliance is one of the top powers in the Myriad Heavens. It's no surprise they can block chat group signals. Their headquarters wouldn't let people take pictures casually either. Yue Ming's point made sense. Their chat group had been founded by Sectmaster Tongqian, but he was only rank 9. The Myriad Heavens Mall Alliance was far larger, a power that could stand alongside the Transmigrator lineage, likely with multiple rank 10 ancestors. Its headquarters would be an exceptionally secure place. Of course, it could isolate itself from chat group communications.